Shalom Israel, welcome to another Wednesday night class. The water for watching and the water for everybody online and the water for everybody that came in person. Good to see everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Shout out and shalom to our brothers Stream of Wisdom in Norfolk, Virginia, Houston, Texas, and Rochester, New York. Shout out and shalom to Cal Cobb down in Guatemala. Shout out and shalom to brothers out in California, in New Mexico, in London. Atazai in London, and those brothers that watch in Florida as well, and that we had a chance to fellowship with in previous times. Good to see everybody. And this is not a continuation of last week. I know we've been dealing with a lot of fear and what fear makes people do. And that's been like the last 2 weeks of class for me on Wednesday. And, I know we had other classes dealing with prophecies on Monday. That was great. And Dawiya's been going on a variety of topics as well. So we're going to kind of do something different, but it still deals with inner man. It still deals with how we operate, how we think, how we look at things, and our character. So the title of the class, write this down, it's called Syndromes and Symptoms. But of course, syndrome is spelled with the SYNDR. But we're just playing on words. If you watch online, you're going to see syndromes as SIN and then dromes, DROMES. Because the reason it is a play on words, but the reason why I'm doing this is because we want to show the correlation between sickness and sin. Sickness and sin has a correlation with one another, and sometimes we don't always identify that my physical health sometimes is due as a direct repercussion for what's going on with me in my spiritual life. So the purpose of this class is to show that relationship between the spiritual sins and the physical sicknesses. All right, and so that's where we want to kind of tie this together, and that's why the title is as such, Syndromes and Symptoms, because we want to put this together to show that your physical well-being has a lot to do with your spiritual well-being. And if your spirit is out of order, a lot of times you'll find out that your flesh or your body's out of order. And this is what the Most High will touch as a direct effect of, as a consequence of one another.
At His will.
Yeah, okay.
He gives us a certain period of time, a grace period, and when he sees there's a lack of, desire to amend, then you know what? Maybe I add this pressure to your life. Maybe I touch your health.
Yep.
Different types of health. You have different types of health.
Yep. Psychological, emotional.
That's a major health right there.
Yeah, all these things can be affected based on where we are with the Father. So we just kind of want to show this. There is a relationship between how my body functions and where my mind is at with the Most High, and how tight my connection is with the Father. So let's go to Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha first, and let's get Ecclesiasticus chapter 38, and let's read verse 15 to start off with. Shout out to everybody online. Shalom family online. Good to see everybody in the comment section as well. Shalom. Let's go ahead and get started.
38 and 15.
Mm-hmm.
He that sinneth before his maker.
It says, any man that sins before his maker, of course, the maker is the Most High. He's our creator. He said, we sin before our maker. Read on.
Let him fall into the hand of the physician.
What does the verse say?
He that sinneth before his maker.
Yeah, so if any one of us sin before the Most High, he says, let that individual do what?
Let him fall into the hand of the physician.
So what is that saying?
Leave him to the doctor.
Yeah, so he's saying that a lot of times we don't see the connection. We don't see the connection between sin and the hospital.
What's a bacteria or virus
Yeah.
had to do with the sin?
With sin, yeah. What do you got to do with each other?
I lied.
Yeah.
How did it turn into a bacteria?
How did it turn into a malfunction in the physical? So what he's saying is there is a direct relationship between what you got.
If you look at the etymology of bacteria, it actually means rod or staff.
Okay. So,
This rod
because a bacteria, when you look under a microscope, it actually looks like a rod. It's actually, it looks like, but it's a staff, all right, like a staff that Moses used, because a rod is also known as a rod of correction.
Yeah.
So the Most High can affect different aspects of us physiologically if we're out of order with Him. You know, so we're going to show this, but we have to kind of identify that this is capable, this is possible, so that as to not allow it to be a mystery of, hey, something's wrong with me, and we have no clue whatsoever that there may be a relationship between what's going on with my health and how I've been out of order with the Most High. A lot of times we don't put the two together. Yes, sir.
So if we go away from using common language and use more biblical language, something's plaguing me.
Yeah.
Maybe we would understand that more.
Yeah, that's another understanding of a plague comes in different forms and fashions. But we understand that, hey, we have to know that the Most High is behind everything. He's behind everything, whether it be health, whether it be wealth, whether it be a sound body, a sound mind. The Most High is behind it all. And if things are not sound, the Most High is behind that also. And sometimes it takes a certain situation, certain circumstances, certain setbacks physically to identify, hey, maybe the Most High is behind this. Maybe the Most High is behind how I'm feeling, and I'm not feeling so well. Let me redirect my focus back to the Father. Maybe it's because I've done something. Maybe it's because I'm guilty of something. Maybe it's the Most High trying to get my attention. Maybe this is a wake up. So a lot of times we don't correlate the two for physical situations that are sicknesses or illnesses. We don't tie it together all the time. That, hey, man, the Most High may not be pleased with me. And so let's go to an example of that. So let's go to 1 Maccabees chapter 8. And let's read verse 6. 1 Maccabees chapter 6. And let's read verse 8.
1 Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
Page 122. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Let everybody get it. It's in the Apocrypha, the red book.
Page
King
122.
What page you on?
Page 122.
All right, so we're in the Apocrypha. 1 Maccabees chapter 6. Let's read verse 8.
1 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 8. Now when the king heard these words, he was astonished and sore moved. Whereupon...
So the words that Antiochus the king heard was that what he put up in Jerusalem as an abomination, the Maccabean family tore it down. And he didn't, his deities and his gods weren't worshipped like he wanted, and put his influence in Jerusalem. So when his plans were foiled, read on.
He was astonished and sore moved, whereupon he laid him down upon his bed and fell sick for grief.
It says he fell sick for what?
For grief.
What do you call that when somebody falls sick from grief?
Depression.
That's a depression. A lot of times people fall into what? A depression. You were sick from grief. Read.
And fell sick for grief, because it had not befallen him as he looked for.
Because things didn't go the way he wanted. So a lot of times when we have broken expectations, or we got expectations that are not met, when things don't go the way we want, it has a direct effect on our health. And it says he fell sick with grief because things didn't go as he expected. Too many times when things don't manifest that we project or that we desire to happen, we fall sick of grief. It's called a broken expectation. Read.
Verse 9. And there he continued many days.
And he said, but it wasn't a regular sickness. He said he laid there for how long?
Many
He
days.
said he laid there many days. Read on.
For his grief was ever more and more.
So the grief was increasing. The grief was continuing. It was nonstop. Read on.
And he made account that he should die.
And he knew, man, something's wrong with me. Something is wrong with me, and I'm not looking good. And my health is starting to fail. Read on.
Verse 10. Wherefore he called for all his friends and said unto them, the sleep is gone from mine eyes.
Man, I can't get no sleep.
I can't repair it. I can't repair it, bro.
I'm suffering.
Uh-huh.
I'm suffering. I get no sleep. Read on.
And my heart faileth for very care.
And he said, I'm worried, sick. Your heart faileth with care means you're worried. He said, I'm worried, sick. When you worry, if you're a person that worries a lot, you can worry yourself sick. But read on.
Verse 11. And I thought with myself.
And he said, what?
And I thought with myself.
And even the nations, because this is not a Hebrew. Antiochus is of the Seleucid dynasty. These are nations. These are not Israelites. He said, but even the nations know they come to an understanding within their conscience. He says, and I thought within myself what?
And I thought with myself, into what tribulation am I come?
What he's saying is, how did I get in this bad shape? How did I come to the point where my health is failing and I'm to the point where I'm about to die? I can't get no sleep and I'm worried sick. How did I get to this point?
Yeah, how did I get to this? It's like you wake up and you're in a situation. Whereas if I'm really connected to the Father, I will incrementally see I'm getting here. I'm progressively getting to this point in my life. All the corrections of Israel were always progressive. Israel didn't wake up on rock bottom. Israel didn't wake up in a plague. It was step-by-step linear conditions that led to the condition that now I need a physician. Now I need a prophet. Now I need someone to pray over me. Now I need somebody to heal me. Now I need to go see the Lord. There is an incremental step and a linear condition that gets us in these low positions. But if I'm not aware of the Father, if I'm not conscious of the Father, this is how you feel like you're waking up in a situation. That means your mind's been gone from Most High for like 3 months. And now my situation is so bad, it forces me to think about the Most High.
Yeah. Sometimes, or I'm aloof and I'm totally naive to the fact that I've been making mistakes in my life.
Which is most
And I'm oblivious to the fact that my sickness or my grief has anything to do with my nature. So even the nations realize that, hey man, everybody got to ask themselves, how did I get in this condition? Why am I suffering the way I am?
Why is it like this?
Why is it like this? Is what he's saying. Read on.
Verse 11. And I thought with myself, into what tribulation am I come? And how great a flood of misery is it, wherein now I am?
He said, I'm overwhelmed. A flood of misery is when you're overwhelmed. He said, how did I get to the point where I'm overwhelmed in my life? Read on.
For I was bountiful.
He said, I was up. Things were great. Life was good. Life was grand. I was up. He said, things were bountiful. What else?
And beloved in my power.
And people loved me when I was in my power. This is King Antiochus. He said, in my power, I was esteemed. I was well favored. Things were great. How did it get so bad? Read on.
But now I remember the evil.
Stop. He said what?
But now I remember the evils.
He said what?
But now I remember the evils that I did.
He said even the nations, non-Israelites, come to grips with the fact that I caused this, and there's a possibility that I brought this condition upon myself. I brought this condition upon myself. This is no happenstance. This is no, hey, just bad luck. Do we ever consider, if there's a situation as far as a physical condition that we're suffering, do we ever consider, hey, maybe I brought this on myself? Or do we say it's somebody else's fault, or I don't know what's going on? I can't call it. I don't know why I'm suffering. Because this man had to come to the realization that, hey, how did I get in this condition? He said what? He said, I remembered what?
But now I remember the evils that I did at Jerusalem, and that I took all the vessels of gold.
He says, you know what? Now his conscience is starting to examine him. He said, you know what you did, right? You stole all that gold. From where?
And that I took all the vessels of gold and silver that were therein.
He said, I went to the temple and I robbed the temple.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm sick because I robbed the temple.
And why would your mind go back to that?
Why would your mind tell you?
Why would your mind go all the way back to that situation? Whenever bad things happen, we go through this Rolodex of sins.
Yeah.
Like, you know what, man?
Maybe.
Maybe it was this situation. How do we know that? How's that? Why is that a natural thing? Because they're connected.
They're connected, man. They are connected. You know, they are connected. And it's not looking good when you start connecting the dots.
Mm-hmm.
But you start realizing, hey, maybe I got myself in this condition. Read.
And I took all the vessels of gold and silver that were therein, and sent to destroy the inhabitants of Judea.
And I was evil to the children of Israel. I was trying to kill all the inhabitants of Judea. Read on.
Without a cause.
They say, and I did it without what?
Without a cause.
So his conscience is eating him up. It's eating him up now. His conscience is an eyewitness to his negativity. But a lot of times, we don't listen to our conscience, and we don't realize, hey, man, we don't even examine the root cause of the affliction. At least this man is examining the root cause of his affliction. At least he's running through his mental history and be like, you know what? What did I do to deserve this? Where did I go wrong? I know what I did. I stole all the silver and gold out the temple. I know what I did.
You crossed the line.
I was trying to kill all them Judeans, and for no reason whatsoever. Read on.
Verse 13. I perceive, therefore.
He said what?
I perceive, therefore.
To perceive means to what?
Understand.
You know. When you perceive, you know. You understand. You know. You have knowledge. He said, I've come to the realization, and I have knowledge now, that what?
I perceive, therefore, that for this cause.
He said, for this reason, that I robbed silver and gold out of the temple, killed people for no reason. Go ahead.
These troubles are come upon me.
So now, do we take on this mentality? Do we look at our condition and say, damn, let me go back and do some examination, and let me look at all the track record and the history of things that I've laid down, and see if this was the cause that got me in this physical depravity, this suffering. This man did. This man understood where the origin of his physical circumstance. Yes, sir.
It's crazy because when the Most High was really angry at Israel, remember he said one word. He said, Israel don't even consider.
He said they don't consider, neither do they know. They don't consider. They don't think about why you're in the situation that you're in. How did you get here? We don't even do any backtracking. We don't even jog our memory and be like, you know what, let me think a little bit to how did I get to this situation that I'm in? Let me jog my memory a little bit. We jog the memory enough, things will start coming to the forefront. A lot of times we don't want to bring these things to the forefront. We rather leave these things in obscurity so we don't feel bad or we don't have to think about it. Or we want to tell ourselves, I don't deserve this. We like to do this. But we only went here to show how that physical conditions, as far as suffering, can be brought about due to what? Sin. Sin and sickness have a direct correlation with each other. And that's why we won't go in here. But not all the time are we sick due to sin. But you still have to examine. So let's go to John chapter 9, verse 1.
That was the last verse 13.
Yeah, we're done with Antiochus. We got St. John 9 and 13. We got the point from First Maccabees. Let's go to John 9 and 13. I mean 9, 1 through 3. Sorry about that. 9, St. John chapter 9, verse 1. Sorry.
St. John chapter 9 and verse 1. And Yahushua passed by. He saw a man which was blind from his birth.
He said, when Yahushua passed by, he saw a man that was blind since what? Birth. Read on.
And his disciples asked him.
It said, Christ had students. He got 12 disciples with him. He says, and the disciple asked him what?
And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin?
He said, who did what?
Who did sin?
So this man was blind since he was born. And the question that the disciples asked was, who did sin? Why would the disciples ask Christ, who did sin, if this man was blind since he was a baby? Yes, sir.
Is it a reincarnation?
We could be. Or?
I guess because in the scripture it talks about sins going down to the third, fourth generation.
Absolutely. Let's go to Exodus chapter 34, verse 7. Exodus chapter 34, verse 7.
Exodus chapter 34, verse 7. Keep in mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity.
The Most High does what?
Forgiving iniquity.
He forgives iniquity. Read on.
And transgression.
And he forgives transgressions. Read on.
And sin.
And he forgives sin. Read on.
And that will, by no means, clear the guilty.
Go ahead.
Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children.
He said the Most High will visit the sins of the fathers upon who?
Upon the children.
Sometimes we're sick because of what?
Fathers.
Because of what your fathers do. The mistakes they make. The mistakes the fathers make transcend and fall upon the heads of the children. Sometimes you don't even know if it was what you did. Sometimes it could be what you did, but also it could be what your parents did that got you in a situation that you're in. He says, the sins of the what?
The fathers upon the children, and upon the children's children.
And what do you call the children's children? That's what you call grandchildren.
Oh, the children's children.
The children's children is your grandchildren. So the sins of the fathers could trickle down and penetrate the lives of the grandchildren. Nobody's safe with the Most High when you make mistakes. Read on.
Unto the third.
He said unto the third, which is grandchildren. Go ahead.
And to the fourth.
That's great-grandchildren. Go ahead.
Generation.
To the third and fourth generation. That means you could be long gone, but your mistakes could be afflicting people that are still on earth after you to the third and fourth generation, even if you're long gone. If the Most High requires that. If the Most High says so. Our mistakes have long-standing ramifications. They don't just wipe away so easily. So, being that the disciples understand this, read that one more time in St. John.
Come. St. John chapter 9 verse 2. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin? This man or his parents, that he was born blind?
It says, who did sin? This man? So they know, the disciples obviously have knowledge that a man can suffer later and be reborn again in sin or in an affliction as a punishment for what he's done. Read.
Verse 3. Yahushua answered, Neither hath this man sinned, nor his parents, but that the works of the Most High should be made manifest in him.
It says, so Christ had to clear it up. Obviously, they had some type of knowledge that you could be suffering either from what you do or what your parents do. But he said it wasn't due to that. It was just so that the glory of the Most High may be manifest.
That was the reason behind
That was the reason behind that particular sickness. So not all the time is a sickness due to somebody's sin. Not all the time. But does that mean that you discredit all sickness and saying it has nothing to do with the Most High? No. That means you still got to consider. You still got to ask yourself, how did I get to this situation? How did I get here? And I got to recognize that the Most High can afflict me in the flesh due to the mistakes I make in the spirit. And we're going to show that too. Let's go to Numbers chapter 5 real quick. We're going to read it fast, all right? Because we don't want to make it the whole point, but we just want to bring about a point. Matter of fact, read that. Numbers chapter 5. Start at verse 1. Some of us may have never read this before, so I kind of want to run through it real quick. Numbers chapter 5, verse 1. Naga, you can read it. Just read it quick.
Numbers chapter 5, verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they put out the camp every leper, and every one that hath an issue, and whosoever is defiled.
No, jump down to verse 11.
Verse 11.
Straight to the point.
And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, If any man's wife go aside.
He said, speaking to the children of Israel, if any man's wife do what?
If any man's wife go aside.
What does that mean?
Go out of the way.
What does that mean, a man's wife go aside? What does that mean?
Go to the other side.
What's on the other side?
Somebody else.
Or shall we say, who's on the other side?
Yeah, that's the question.
Next door neighbor.
Yeah, so, yeah, some other side. They just not the side she belongs on. He said, but if any man's wife do what?
If any man's wife go aside and commit a trespass against him, and a man lie with her carnally.
They said, but what he explained is what he means when he says she go aside. He said another man lie with her what?
Carnally.
Go ahead.
And it be hid.
And it be what? And it be what?
And it be hid.
And nobody knows about the secret rendezvous. Nobody knows about it. It
Never let them know.
It didn't leak. It didn't leak. Nobody knew what went on behind closed doors.
They say, you know and I know, we should never let them know.
Yeah.
That was a popular, we got a little secret. A little secret. You're my little secret.
Yeah.
And that's why we should. Listen, nobody knows the most high. It's three people. It's a triangle. It's the Father and those two spirits. They know. Everybody else, they should never let them know.
Me and Mrs. Jones.
Me and Mrs. Jones.
We got a thing going on.
They get up early in the morning to get coffee at 5 o'clock. But people keep secrets out.
He said, I know I'm wrong.
I know I'm wrong. But we can't stop this thing going on.
Yeah. So, he said,
I got something to stop that thing going on.
But that's how the Most High deal with it, though. Although it's hid amongst men, amongst, mankind. Read on.
And it be hid from the eyes of her husband, and be kept close, and she be defiled.
Yeah.
And there be no witness against her.
And there be no what?
And there be no witness against her.
Read on.
Neither she be taken with the manner, and the spirit of jealousy come upon him.
And something don't sit well with this man.
Spirit jump on him, man.
Spirit jump on him. Something's not right. Something's awkward about the situation. The chemistry is not the same. The vibe is different.
Vibes changes.
The talk is different. The speech is different. The mannerisms are different. It's just certain things that doesn't reflect what he's invested into for that time. Because a man and woman, the Most High said, two shall become what?
One flesh.
One flesh. So now he sees, okay, you don't think like me. You don't think like me. You don't behave like me. You don't share the same interests as me. You got your own mind. You got your own thoughts. Okay, something's not right. There's no definite, it's not saying that there's a definite dead giveaway that he knows there's something wrong. It's just an inclination. It's just a feeling that may come upon him that something's not right. Read on.
Verse 14. And the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled. Or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled.
But he don't know. He just know that something's not right. She could be guilty. She could not be guilty. Maybe it's an evil suspicion. Maybe it's just his insecurity speaking. Who knows? He don't know. She could be innocent. She could be guilty. Nobody knows. How do you deliberate a situation like that? Read on.
Numbers 5 and 15. Then shall the man bring his wife unto the priest, and he shall bring her offering for her, the 10th part of an ephah of barley meal.
He said the 10th part of an ephah, that's an offering to the Most High. Read on.
He shall pour no oil upon it.
He said he shall pour no oil upon it and no what?
Nor put frankincense thereon.
Because the situation it's not a good situation. This is why he's not adding any incense or fragrances to this offering, because it's for a solemn situation. It's for a sad situation.
Answers.
Yeah, it's a bad purpose to bring an offering, bad cause to bring an offering to the Most High. So he's not doing it with perfume. He's not doing it with sweet incense, because the situation is not sweet. It's a bad situation. That's why he's not putting no oil on it. He's not putting no frankincense on it. He's just bringing the offering raw to the Most High, and just as it is. Read on.
For it is an offering of jealousy.
It is there because it's an offering of what?
Jealousy.
Read on.
An offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance.
It says it's to remind somebody of what?
Iniquity.
It says it brings iniquity to what?
Remembrance.
Now we just read how in First Maccabees, even the nations know when they wicked, and they come to the realization, hey, I know why this situation is happening to me. I know why I'm sick. I know why this circumstance is the way it is. But our people got to go through a whole ritual to get them to remember that they do wrong.
Wow.
We got to participate and create this whole ritual just so you can recall your negativity. We gotta make an offering to the Most High, because you just can't recall. Hey, if you can't keep it 100 and say, this is what I've been doing, this is what I did, this what happened behind your back. We're going through this whole routine of wasting everybody's time. We're wasting everybody's time because you can't remember what you do or what you've done.
This is a crazy story, bro. This lady, their daughter needed a transplant, kidney transplant. So they gotta do a blood test.
Yeah.
To prove the transplant. So the doctor said, "Sir, I'm sorry, but your blood doesn't match your daughter." And so he flipped out.
Yeah.
He's like, we've been married for 40 years. How don't we have the same DNA? If it wasn't for the need for a kidney transplant, he never would have knew. There was something going on.
He said that kidney transplant was bringing that iniquity to remembrance.
Yeah, the Most High creates these situations where it comes out.
Well, it's been several situations, whether it be on the news or whether it be amongst us in the camp, where a lot of times you find out who you thought were your parents but not your parents.
God.
How many times have we seen that in the camp?
Yeah.
Many. Not just on the news. Not just on the news.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in the camp, we've seen this several times. Whether you find out years later, then it hit you like, damn, I always thought something was a little different. But who knows? But this is what it takes to get some answers. This is what it takes to get people to start thinking about, man, how did I get in this situation? Let me start doing some backtracking. Let me look down my laundry list. So read on.
Verse 16. And the priest shall bring her near, and set her before the Most High. And the priest shall take holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is in the floor of the tabernacle the priest shall take.
He said he takes an earthen vessel, he takes holy water, and he takes the dirt from the tabernacle, some holy dirt, and does what?
The priest shall take and put it into the water. And the priest shall set the woman before the Most High, and uncover the woman's head.
He said she will sit the Most High. What is he doing by taking that woman and taking her covering off her head? It's to, but there's no shame because she don't know she's guilty or innocent. If she's innocent, there is no shame. But what does the covering represent?
In hiding?
It's the covert, right? The covert protection.
Yeah, 1 Corinthians 11, real quick. Let's read this real quick. We're going to read 1 Corinthians chapter 11. I want you to get verse 6.
Just start with 5 first? Was the first verse?
No, we read verse 11 first. I'm sorry. On Numbers. Salakia.
Numbers 5 and 11.
Numbers chapter 5, verse 11.
That was the first verse.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Read that right there. Start at 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 5.
1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 5. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head.
Go ahead.
For that is even all one, as if she were shaven.
It said because it's a dishonor for a woman to take off her covering, because it's a shame that a woman to be bald. That's why the Most High gave a woman hair. It's a cover. It's a natural covering. Yes, sir.
What if she has her hair like short? Like it looks like say it would be like a number like 4 or 5 or something like it's short.
That's a shame.
It's a shame.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's not a woman. Her glory is her hair.
God.
But what does it represent, though? That's what we want to get to. What does it represent? What does the covering, the head covering, represent? Let's find out. Read that one more time.
1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 5. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head.
Her head is her husband. It's out of respect for her husband and out of respect for a man. Read on.
For that is even all one, as if she were shaven. For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn.
And if she refused to put a head covering on, then let her shave her head bald. Read.
But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven,
Because it is a shame for a woman to be shaved or shorn, would mean to have a low cut like a man. So it is a shame for that. So then it's much better that she do what?
let her be covered.
Then let her be covered, right? Read.
For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of the Most High. But the woman is the glory of the man.
But the woman is the glory of who?
Of the man.
So you know what? A woman, out of respect for a man, covers her head. And that head cover means something. Read this for me, Daria, right here. Line 56.
Line 56.
This is Philo, page 599. Read this.
And the priest shall take the barley and offer it to the woman, and shall take away from her the headdress.
It said he going to take off the what?
The headdress.
Just like we read in Numbers. Remove that headdress. Read on.
On her head, that she may be judged
Go ahead.
with her head bare,
With her head bare. Read on.
and deprived of the symbol of modesty.
What does the head covering represent?
The symbol of modesty.
That head, the woman wear head wraps and scarves because it's a symbol of what?
Modesty.
Modesty. It's them saying, I'm a modest woman. A lot of women have head coverings on, but they're not chaste. They're not modest. They don't use discretion. Their behavior is unbecoming of a modest woman. Read on.
Which all those women
It says, which all those women, read on.
are accustomed
It said that's a custom because it does represent what? Read on.
to wear, who are completely blameless.
Why does a woman wear a head covering?
Who are completely blameless.
Because she's saying what by when she puts this head covering on?
I'm blameless.
I'm blameless.
I'm modest.
I'm modest. I'm chaste.
Wow.
I'm undefiled. That's the purpose of the head covering. That's what it represents. It's symbolic of that. Yes, sir.
Would you say it's the same type of scenario when a man puts fringes on?
Kind of. Same thing. He's saying I'm modest. He's saying I'm blameless. Yeah, I know the law. I got understanding. I have knowledge. But a woman does that when she cover her head up. So let that go, and let's go back to where we had Numbers.
Numbers chapter 5, verse 18. And the priest shall set the woman before the Most High, and uncover the woman's head, and put the offering of memorial in her hands, which is the jealousy offering. And the priest...
He said he put it in her hands because she's declaring that she's innocent. She's declaring her innocent. Read.
which is the jealousy offering. And the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that causeth the curse.
He says the bitter water causes the what?
The curse.
It says if she's lying, he said when she drinks this water that's mixed with temple dirt in an earthen vessel, mixed with holy water, if she's lying, it says it will bring about the what?
the bitter water that causeth the curse.
Let's find out what that means. I like what Philo said about that. Right here.
Come.
It says the priest standing opposite.
The priest standing opposite to her and holding the earthenware vessel, in which are the water and the earth, shall speak thus: if you have not transgressed the laws of your marriage.
He said, if you have not transgressed the laws of your marriage, and you're completely innocent. Read on.
And if no other man has been associated with you.
And you ain't dealt with no other man, or no other man has been associated with you. Does it mean that you even just slept with him?
Yeah.
That you're building these bonds? Because a lot of times women say he's just my friend.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a married woman with a male friend.
No. Especially not a best friend.
Yeah. You know what that is? It's just the only thing separating that is time and opportunity. The right moment, the right time, the right opportunity, and those lines could be crossed easily.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Because there's already a level of comfort established. They're already comfortable with one another.
There's a familiarity.
Yeah. Read on.
Yeah. So that you have not violated the rights of him who is joined to you by the law. You are blameless and innocent. But if you have neglected your husband and have followed empty appetites.
It said you followed empty appetites. Pleasure is an empty appetite. Read on.
Either loving someone yourself or yielding to some lover, betraying your nearest and dearest connections, and adulterating them that are spurious with a spurious mixture.
So now you cause a confusion.
Wow.
Read.
Then learn that you are deservedly liable.
He says, then know that you are deservedly liable for what?
To every kind of curse.
Just like we read in Numbers. You're liable for every kind of what?
Curse.
Go ahead.
The proofs of which you will exhibit.
It says the proof and the evidence will show up where?
On your body.
On your what?
On your body.
So does sin have a direct relationship with physical sickness?
Con.
Directly.
Con.
They go hand in hand. Sin and sickness go hand in hand. And the way sometimes the Most High manifests your sin is to directly affect your body. So that you can come to the understanding of, you can start recollecting and remembering, maybe I've been wrong. Maybe I've been wrong, and maybe I've been doing wrong. Hold this, and we'll come right back to it. Finish where you had Numbers.
Yeah. Numbers chapter 5, verse 19. And the priest shall charge her by an oath. You want 18 again? Sorry.
Yeah, just read on.
And the priest shall charge her by an oath, and say unto the woman, if no man have lain with thee.
It said, if no man have lain with thee, so that she got to swear by an oath. She's acknowledging truth or guilt. Read.
If no man have lain with thee, and if thou hast not gone aside to uncleanness with another instead of thy husband, be thou free from this bitter water that causeth the curse.
He said, then this water mixed with this temple dirt will have no effect on you if you've been upright and you've been modest. You have nothing to worry about with this holy water mixed with temple dirt. You have nothing to worry about. Read on.
Verse 20. But if thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband, and if thou be defiled, and some man have lain with thee beside thine husband, then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing.
And you get an oath of cursing. Then a curse is brought upon you. Read on.
And the priest shall say unto the woman, the Most High make thee a curse and an oath among thy people.
Go ahead.
When the Most High doth make thy thigh to rot.
He said the Most High will directly affect your what?
Thy thigh to rot.
Your thighs is your loins. Your inner thigh is your loins. And we'll be more specific. Read on.
And thy belly to swell.
So from the thigh to the belly is your midsection. Between the thighs and the belly. Otherwise known as your womb. He said he's going to cause it to swell, which is a woman's reproductive systems. Since that is the origin of the sin, so the Most High will direct that particular part of the body where the sin was done at. So from the thigh to the belly, he said it shall rot, so that womb will no longer serve its purpose. Read on.
Verse 22. And this water that causeth the curse shall go into thy bowels, and to make thy belly to swell, and thy thigh to rot. And the woman shall say, Amen.
And she will say what?
Amen.
And she gonna say amen. That means what?
So be it.
So be it. That means so be it. She's in agreement. So be it. You know what she's making? A declaration of innocence. She said, I'm not guilty. I've done no wrong. Well, this water of conviction will determine it. Finish this and follow.
It says right here, with spurious mixture, then learn that you are deservedly liable to every kind of curse, the proofs of which you will exhibit on your body.
So sin shows up where?
On your body.
So you have to understand, we all have to come to grips that some sicknesses and illnesses are brought on us by our mistakes. You have to tie the two together. It is not, everything's not bad luck. Everything's not just everybody gets sick. Yeah, everybody does get sick, but do you ever tie that hey, maybe you've been bringing a sickness on yourself? You ever put that in your mind? Read on.
Come then and drink the draught of conviction.
Go ahead.
Which shall uncover and lay bare all thy hidden and secret actions.
It says it will lay bare all your secret and hidden what?
Actions.
People have hidden and secret actions that there's no way but to reveal them than for them to pop up in a physical way. There's no way to reveal it. But they pop up and they manifest themselves in a physical sickness. It's things that you would never know why a person is in the condition they're in, but it could be only they know, based on their particular record and their remembrance and their ability to recollect what's going on, only they know why they're in that condition. And it's for them sometimes to think about, how did you get in this condition? Yep. How did this situation come upon you? Read.
It says, then the priest shall write these words on a paper and dip it in the water, which is in the earthenware vessel.
And we're reading out of a book of Philo. He was a Jew during the time of Paul. He was an Alexandrian Jew, high up amongst civilization. Alexandria had the largest Jewish population outside of Israel. And they had over 1 million Jews in Alexandria, Egypt. And he was an elite individual in society where he was chosen to go to be a part of an entourage to go to Rome to convince Nero not to put a statue in the temple. So he was a well-known scholar, a historian. Read on. And philosopher too. But he was a Jew. Read.
Then the priest shall write these words on a paper and dip it in the water, which is in the earthenware vessel.
Go ahead.
And it shall be to the woman, and she shall drink it and depart.
And she gonna drink it and leave. Read on.
Awaiting the reward of her modesty.
It says, and time will tell if she was really modest or not. Read on.
Or the extreme penalty of her incontinence.
Her lack of self-control. Incontinence is a lack of self-restraint. You have no self-restraint or self-control. When a woman has no self-restraint or self-control, she's incontinent.
Or impulsive.
She's impulsive. She can't control herself. She has no control. Liberty. Yep.
Come.
Read.
For if she has been falsely accused that she may hope her seed and children, disregarding all apprehensions and anxieties on the subject of barrenness and childlessness.
She's not worried about it if she's innocent. She ain't got nothing to worry about. That womb will work. That womb will be in order. That womb will remain in functionality.
Yeah.
She has nothing to worry about if she's innocent. Read on.
But if she is guilty, then a great weight.
It said then a what?
Great weight.
So then the Most High starts swelling the belly.
Wow.
You know what the Most High does to women? He swells that midsection. Sometimes the swelling of that midsection is not just baby fat, like we all like to think. I just, the babies ain't been little for 10, 20 years. That's not just a little baby fat. Sometimes sometimes that swelling in the midsection is due to immodesty. Yes, sir.
Are you talking about like PID, inflammatory disease?
We're talking about a variety of things that afflict a woman's womb. A variety of things. The reproductive organs are extensive when it comes to what can cause a problem.
Or even just the digestion in general. It's like they have snakes inside the stomach. These different pains, these are painful events. People having irritable bowel syndrome, colitis, whatever it is.
Endometriosis?
Yeah, all that, it feels like your stomach, it feels like you're eating food and it's coming out of your gut.
Leaky gut syndrome?
It's leaky gut syndrome. Everybody they have it like, oh, I need some medication because my stomach is always in pain.
Oh, it's always inflamed.
It's always inflamed. Not just
the womb. Or I got Crohn's disease.
That's what I'm saying. It's not just the womb. It's that region. Yeah. The thigh to the belly, that whole region. Most guys dealing with. The appetite. Because the womb's not the womb, but the stomach's about the appetite.
The stomach is known as the seat of passion.
God.
That's the origin of passion. And if those passions are immodest, the Most High affect that general area. He says what? He says then a great what?
He says a great weight and bulk.
And they get what? Weight.
Expands.
Weight and bulk.
God.
The Most High distorts that midsection. Sometimes that's a punishment from the Most High for being immodest. Read on.
From her belly swelling and becoming full will come upon her, and a terrible evil condition of her womb will afflict her.
And a terrible evil condition of what?
Of her womb.
So a woman's purpose is to procreate.
Yeah.
She's made for procreation. The Most High will steal away the purpose of what the womb is for. Because she's misusing it.
And it's scientifically known, I'm not going to go all grotesque on the mic, but it's scientifically known that the specimen of seed that the man comes with, when you have multiple specimens of seed, it has a chemical effect in that region that creates a different type of unnatural nature, an unnatural scent. That unnatural scent, I'm not trying to get grotesque on the mic, the natural scent is also a product a lot of times of adultery and uncleanness. But the Most High is dealing with that right here. That region is going to be out of order because of sin.
Like a bathroom out of order. Huh?
Like a bathroom out of order.
You must put an out of order sign.
Yeah. Like he said earlier. You said earlier there wasn't a sweet scent with the sacrifice, because if it was a righteous sacrifice, there'd be a sweet scent. But why is the scent? Why is it changed? Because there's too many different chemical determinants in that region that shouldn't be there. There should only be one chemical there. One body, one flesh.
Yeah, but now we see where the Most High puts the target in the bullseye, which is right around the midsection. Read on.
And a terribly evil condition of her womb will afflict her, since she did not choose to keep it pure.
Because she didn't want to keep the womb pure, the Most High sometimes will punish the womb. Because she didn't want to keep it pure. Yes, sir.
It's crazy because the Most High also will attack your body with a lot of sin that you do, even with an inordinate affection with men. That inordinate affection.
Mm-hmm.
That part of the body that's happening can be cursed. And
Yeah.
I don't want to say, like I said, I don't want to go too detailed with it. I've learned how to
Yeah, keep
you know,
it keep it PG.
In
You
inordinate
know,
affection with men, the Most High attacks that part of the body, and I'm just gonna put it as that.
Yeah.
I've seen it with my own eyes. I went to an all-boy Catholic high school, and there was a lot of inordinate affection teachers, and we all, I mean, point blank. I'm just not gonna go no further.
You know, and the Most High will punish that also. When you look at STDs, the majority of STDs are, especially in cities where we're prevalent at, that the majority of the population is those that misuse their body parts. You know, that's another way the Most High stings that area, both male and female.
Yeah.
Point blank where the
We'll get to that topic probably off camera sometime. You know what I'm saying? We can speak a little bit more freely. But what he's saying is, because she chose not to keep that womb pure. Go ahead.
For her husband.
And who was it for?
For her husband.
Go ahead.
Who had married her according to the laws of her nation.
Right. So now the Most High has to sting specific body parts that are misused due to immodesty. So the Most High, when there's a particular sin, there's a direct correlation with how it manifests itself in the flesh. And sickness in the flesh go with sin. We can't ignore this.
Okay.
We can't assume that, you know, this happens to women around my age.
Can I pull one scripture real quick?
Okay.
Psalm 68 and 21. Just so the Most High has targets. Psalm 68 and 21.
Read that.
All the scripture shows is the Most High has targets that he prefers.
68:21.
Uh-huh.
Psalm 68 and 21.
Classic Most High kills scripture.
But the Most High shall wound the head of his enemy.
The Most High shall wound, means striking and making contact with the what? The head, right? The head, right? Of his what?
Shall wound the head of his enemies.
Those that are contrary or in opposition to him. Read.
And the hairy scalp.
And the what?
And the hairy scalp.
He elaborates a second time. He emphasizes a second time. Not just the head, but the hairy scalp. Read.
Of such a one as goeth on still in his trespass.
So are you saying that the hair loss, it could be a direct effect of sin?
But it could be hair loss.
Because we go to what's that? Isaiah 3.
Yeah.
20, is it 24? Read that. Because the Most High, we're saying that the Most High will specifically target that head, because where did the idea to go astray came from?
The mind.
It didn't come from the stomach. This one.
It came
Not
from
this one.
It came from the mind.
Yeah. It came from the brain.
Isaiah
3.
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 24. And it shall come to pass that instead of a sweet smell, there shall be stink.
Changing in the chemistry. That's biblical. Read.
Man, you got to let that sink in a little bit.
Yeah, I said it again.
Yeah, read that one more time.
Slow it down.
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 24.
Yeah.
And there shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink.
And we don't got to go into detail.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear.
But if everything's in order and everything's dealing with the laws of hygiene, because we have laws of hygiene, we have laws of cleanliness. If I'm keeping the laws of cleanliness, there should be no, repulsive scent. There should be no repulsive smell.
And that's the womb. That's that midsection.
Yeah.
Read.
And instead of a girdle, a rent.
And the Most High, once again, if you break your girdle, obviously that means what?
There's a swelling.
There's a swelling. You can't fit your girdle no more. You done split your clothes.
And it's not always from just indulging in carbs and cakes and sweets.
The Most High targets certain areas of the body. Read on.
And instead of well set hair.
And instead of well set hair, read on.
Baldness.
So what does the Most High do to the scalp, depending on the level of wickedness? Alopecia, hair loss. The Most High starts, let that hair start falling off. With every bit of wickedness, the Most High you start losing locks.
Yep.
and curls. Yes, sir.
One sin. I mean, one sin that he actually attacks that I can't say on camera. Smoking cigarettes attacks the what?
The lung. Yeah, but it's direct. It has a direct effect.
Right.
But even when the sin is not so known, now let's get the definition of symptom. Get the definition of symptom. The class is called Syndromes and Symptoms. But what we're doing is we're showing how behavior and whether righteousness or wickedness has a direct correlation to how it manifests in your health.
And the Most High is strategic.
He's very
Right
strategic.
Places
The sickness.
is the sickness. It's not random.
It's not random. Like that we have brought out. It's not random. The Most High knows how to aim. He knows how to aim the sickness depending on where it's coming from. Read that.
Symptom, 1828, Webster's Dictionary. A sign.
It's a what?
It says a sign.
Sometimes we need what?
A sign.
Well, sometimes we need a sign. Because we never know where we make mistakes at. We forget. Yeah. We're quick to forget.
That's true.
So we need a marker. Like, hey, man, this is where this physical illness is due to this over here.
Even, and you brought this out in multiple classes in the past, dealing with leprosy.
Yep.
A lot of times you see leprosy on the hands, on the mouth area, and around the eyes. Why is it there? Because you look at something you're supposed to look at. So it's around the eyes.
Yeah, because that's where the sin be at.
Sin be where you looking at?
And the sin be where you put your mouth at.
Yeah, where you putting your mouth? Or what are you talking about? What
and
are you saying?
And what you touching?
What you touching? With the hands. The brother's hand is skin look great, but right here the fingers.
In between the webbing of the fingers.
Yeah, what are you touching? Most High is showing exactly where the sin's at. The hands, the lips,
speaking,
the eyes, the speaking. Most High is telling people, but people aren't being spiritually connected.
No, they don't see. They don't pick up on the signs. Read. What else you got?
It says, I got some more. It says, a sign or token that which indicates the existence of something else.
It says it's a sign or a token which indicates the existence of something else. So why did the Most High have the woman belly swell and her thigh rot? Because she needed a sign and everybody else needed a sign of what was done behind closed doors. But it's a sign of what's going on inside that you can't really see. Read on.
It says a perceptible change.
It's a what?
A perceptible change.
So the Most High affects the body. He wants you to see it. The sickness sometimes is evidence that I've done something out of order. He said it's a perceptible change. Go ahead.
In the body or its functions.
So it's no different than if I'm coughing, I'm sneezing, I got a runny nose, I got swollen eyes, my eyes are closing, I got pus leaking out of my eyes or a gunk in my eyes. Obviously, there's a sign of what? Sickness. The symptom is just a foretelling of the sickness. It's just an outward expression that something else is going on inwardly. Read on.
And then it says the causes of disease.
It says it's also the what?
The causes of disease.
Go ahead.
Falling or accident to fall. A morbid state of the body.
It says a morbid state of the what?
A morbid state of the body.
So is it true that sometimes when sins are hidden, the Most High will manifest them in the body? Is that true? Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 24. 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 24.
First Timothy chapter 5, verse 24.
Everybody get it.
Never read.
Go ahead.
1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 24. Some men's sins are open beforehand.
It says some men's sins don't need an examination. They don't need a sign. They don't need a matter of conviction and a determination by a priest to drink some holy water mixed with dirt to determine some type of guilt. He says some men's sins don't need that. Some men's sins are so bold and out in the open it's easy to see. Some men's sins are evident already. It's already obvious. So it's easy to call out and say, hey man, I could tell that why the Most High is dealing with this particular person this way, because it's obvious. Look at their behavior.
Yeah.
Look at how they carry themselves. Look at the way they conduct themselves. Look at how they have no respect, and how immodest they are or irreverent they are to the commandments. Some things are that obvious where you don't need a particular examination to find out how somebody's guilty or not. You don't need that. But that's not always the case. Especially when you're dealing with Israel, we don't know, our sins don't always be out in the open, in plain view in front of everybody. We like to do things behind closed doors, but so that nobody sees what's going on when I'm by myself or not amongst eyes. Yes, sir.
It's written all over your face.
Right. He said, but not all things are not that perceptible. All sins aren't easy to see. Some are. Read on. Oh, what you got? I'm sorry.
I think that depending on the type of sin and depending on how much your sin inconveniences other people, I think that is significant on what happens to you. In other words, he's going to show you physically something because you showed all these other people something physically, something that you did to deter them. Now he's going to do it to you.
Yeah, we read that in First Maccabees, how the Most High was dealing with Antiochus. The sickness that brought Antiochus down started jogging his memory, and he started remembering all the evils that he did.
Yeah.
He started thinking about, man, and recollecting, man. Let me get down to find out. Let me examine and find out, how did this come upon me? How did this sickness come upon me? Am I deserving of this sickness? Because we all ask ourselves that. Did I deserve this? Some of us don't want to ask ourselves that question. We just say, no, just going through something. We don't want to talk about it. Some sins are obvious and some are not. Some are easy to see in plain view. Like, okay, you can see, okay, that brother's a sinner. Or you say, that brother keep it up, he's going to go to hell, man. That brother going to hell. You might be able to clarify some sins like that. But all things are not that easy. All people's sins, all of our sins, are not that easily evident. We all got sins. There's no righteous person. We all got sins. Some are just more evident than others. Some are just more obvious than others. Read it again.
God, verse 24. Some men's sins are open beforehand, going before to judgment.
It says the Most High already, because of what they're doing, they're already going to be judged by the Most High for that. There's no need to even question it that they're wrong. The Most High already classified them and is going to drop the hammer on them. It's obvious to see that. Read on.
Middle of 24. And some men...
It said, but some men, what?
They follow after.
It says some men do the same things that bring about judgment. It's just that it's not so easily to see. And a lot of times that's what we fall in. We fall into that category of, we do the same thing that other people do because we sin too, but it's just not that obvious. It's not so easily seen. Read on.
Verse 25. Likewise, also, the good works of some are manifest beforehand.
And he said also, it's like that with negative. It's easy to see when somebody's on the right path or wrong path. And it's also easy to see when somebody's doing right. It's easy to see when somebody's on the right path and they're doing good things. And they're behaving themselves. Read on.
God. And they that are otherwise cannot be hid.
It says, and there's other ones that's opposite of the right behavior. Their behavior actually stands out. So if I'm doing some wickedness, but I'm around people that are not doing wickedness, then my wickedness can't really be hid. It's hard to hide. When you're if you're wicked in a wicked world, then you're not. It's not easy to see your wickedness because everybody's wicked. Everybody's evil.
Camouflage.
Yeah, you're blending right in with the world.
Yeah.
But when you come out of the world and you put yourself in a body of people who are changing, then your lack of change becomes that much more obvious. And you start to stand out because you're not changing. And this happens in the truth. This happens in the truth over time when you start seeing men and women that are changing, and you start to see them and their mistakes be like blaring. It's like a neon sign. Versus those that are trying to make changes, you don't see it that easy. You see their good works speaking for them. But when you put bad works amongst good people, the bad works are that much more evident and obvious. So it's harder to see. But when everybody's sins are not perceptible. So there is a contrast. So go to, I want you to go to 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12.
God.
Just to expound on this point a little bit more.
1 Timothy 4.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say 12? I'm sorry.
Yes. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12.
1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12. Let no man despise thy youth.
Go ahead.
But be thou an example of the believer.
It says, don't let anybody influence you to do wrong, but be an example of what?
Of the believer.
You're supposed to be an example of what?
The believer.
Just like your good deeds are supposed to stand out. Good deeds are manifest also and easily seen also. So we're supposed to be displaying good deeds. This is what's supposed to be going before us. Preceding us is our morals, our piety, our reverence toward the Most High, our discipline, our respect that we have for the laws of the Most High, our respect for one another. That's how we're supposed to be conducting ourselves. Read on.
In word.
It says, in what?
In word.
So I'm supposed to be an example in word of what's right, how I speak, how I carry myself. What else?
In conversation.
My conversation, the content of my conversation is good. It's not filthy. Read on.
In charity.
In giving, in supporting other people. Read on.
In spirit.
And in spirit, how I sustain my spirit. I keep my spirit in good shape. I keep my spirit in good standing. I don't defile my spirit. Read on. I feed my spirit. Read on.
In faith.
In faith. My faith also goes before me. Not fear, but faith. Read on.
In purity.
And purity. All these things are supposed to be speaking for us. Read on.
Verse 13. Till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation.
You should be studying at all times. The way you maintain this, you study at all times. Exhortation is motivation and incitement to other people. Go ahead.
To doctrine.
To teaching. Go ahead.
Neglect not the gift that is in thee.
Go ahead.
Which was given thee by prophecy.
But prophecy is teaching. Somebody taught you a good example of how to be a good person in Christ. To be a godly person in Christ. It says, don't misuse that opportunity. Read on.
With the laying on of the hands of the presbytery.
And the way that you get taught is you yield yourself to and allow yourself to be molded by the leaders. This is how you sustain yourself in good standing. These are just some things that we got to be conscious of to make sure that we stay free of being sick. We stay free of being punished by the Most High due to some type of sins. These are examples that we got to maintain to keep ourselves pure. Free from this. So we don't got to worry about the Most High stinging me. I don't have to worry about him stinging my flesh. Or stinging a part of me that makes me sick because of my mistakes that I've been making. Let that go. No, finish that in verse 16.
15?
Down to 16.
Do you want me to...
Keep going.
Okay, 15. Verse 15. Meditate upon these things. Give thyself wholly to them.
It says you're supposed to be meditating on these things and giving yourself wholly to change. Holy means completely to change. You don't have to worry about the Most High stinging you in the flesh. Read on.
That thy profiting may appear to all.
And the good deeds will appear before who?
All.
So people are supposed to see your good deeds. Now go back to
You want
no,
something?
finish 16. Yes.
Verse 16. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine. Continue in them.
Continue in the word. Read on.
For in doing this, thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee.
And you save the people that hear you, that you're teaching. So these are the things that's supposed to be going before you. So when we read, go back to 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 25.
God, 1 Timothy 5:25. Likewise also the good works of some are manifest beforehand.
And these are the good works that he's talking about that people's supposed to see about you. These are the changes that you're making. This is in your speech. This is in your conduct. This is in the fact that you study. You give attendance to reading. This is the new reputation that you're putting forth that people see. People see that the changes that you're making. These are the things that need to be in front of you, not your mistakes, not your sins. Your sins shouldn't or your errors shouldn't speak for you. The things that you're doing right should speak for you. You understand that, right? Mm-hmm. Matthew chapter 12, verse 33. And then we're going to go to Genesis chapter 4, verse 6. Read that.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 33.
Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 33. Either make the tree good.
The Most High said what? Or Christ said what?
Either make the tree good.
He said either you're going to practice doing good works and doing everything that we just read and being an example of the believers. Either you're going to try to make a damn good effort trying to correct yourself and free yourself from your mistakes. He said either make the tree good or do what?
And its fruit good.
And their actions good, because it's evident to the Most High either way. It's easy to see from the Most High if you're trying to change or whether you're not trying to change. Or whether you're doing things in secret. It's obvious. Maybe not to men, but it's obvious to the Most High. Read on.
Or else make the tree corrupt and its fruit corrupt.
What he's saying is what? Make a choice. Make a decision for change. Make a decision to get on top of yourself and get on top of your spirit. Make a commitment to learning and being a good example. Changing behavior, speech, and everything about you. That's what Christ is saying. Read on.
For the tree is known.
He said because either way, whether you're doing evil works or whether you're doing good works, he said the tree will be known by what?
For the tree is known by his fruit.
It said the tree is still going to be known by its fruit, meaning it's still going to be shown in front of people. Somebody's going to find out, whether it be man find out or whether it's the Most High find out, what your intentions are. It's going to be seen in due time. You can't hide it. It cannot be hidden. Either way it goes, it's going to be made manifest. So why not push for the best things, to be the best example? But let's go to Genesis chapter 4, verse 6.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 6. And the Most High said unto Cain, why art thou wroth?
He said what?
Why art thou wroth?
Somebody give me the definition of wrath.
Wrath, 1828, Webster's Dictionary. It says very angry.
He said, what if you're trying to be if you're trying to be an example of the believers in faith, in purity, in conversation, if you're trying to make all these changes, the question is, why are you so angry? Why are you not happy? Because this is what Cain was doing. Cain was presenting an offering to the Most High. He was giving an offering. He was trying to get the Most High's attention. Like we're all trying to get the Most High's attention. So if we're trying to get the Most High's attention, then why are we so damn angry? Why are we not happy?
Our efforts are not being recognized. Or we don't think we are getting the attention we deserve.
We're not, maybe not be getting the things are not going the way we expected.
Well, we have short patience. We don't have any patience. Our we're getting frustrated too quickly because it's not coming when we want it. The blessing or whatever, the relief is not coming when we want it to come.
So we're all trying to make efforts toward the Most High, but why are some people? Because it's obvious to the Most High that Cain was not happy. Why are we so angry?
Because we want something other than what the Most High wants.
Great point. We're gonna find out. He said what?
It says, and the Most High said unto Cain, why art thou wroth?
Which means what?
Very angry.
Which means, why are you so angry? Why are not everybody that's seeking the Most High happy? It's not like you can hide it. You can't really hide it. You could fake smile. You can fake like yeah, everything's good. You could tell people, yeah, everything's all right. But deep down inside, you're not what? You're not happy. You're not content. You're not satisfied. Yes, sir.
It says, to heat oneself in vexation.
To heat oneself in what?
In vexation.
Why are you so hot? Why are you so vexed? Read on in the scripture.
Come. It says, and why is thy countenance fallen?
And why are you walking around? Why are you never happy? Why you got the permanent I don't want to be here face? I'm upset face. I hate life face. People disgust me face. You get on my nerves face.
I'm disappointed.
I'm disappointed face. Why you walk around like that? As if nobody can see that something's wrong. As if nobody can see that you're not at peace. That's why the Most High had to come to Cain and say, man, what's wrong with you? Your face is showing that there's a problem. The way you carry yourself is showing that there's an issue. You're not at peace. Why are you so vexed? What did the Most High say?
It says, and the Most High said unto Cain, why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen?
And why you got a long face? Why your head down? Why you looking so unhappy? Ecclesiastes chapter 13, verse 25 and 26 real quick. Somebody get that. Ecclesiastes chapter 13, verse 25 and 26. If we're supposed to be the example of the believers, there's no way that we should be walking around with sad, broken countenances.
Ecclesiastes chapter 13 and verse 25. The heart of a man changes his countenance.
It says the mind of a man does what?
Changes his countenance.
So is not the countenance a reflection of what's going on the inside? But even though sometimes it's not easy to see what's going on inside a person's mind, but the countenance, the outward appearance, we got guard, the outward appearance is a reflection of what's going on the inside. He said what?
It says the heart of a man changes his countenance, whether it be for good or evil.
So is it hard to hide what's going on inside of you? No. It's written all over your face. Your face declares whether you're suffering, whether you got problems, whether you're not happy in your life, whether you're angry, whether you're vexed at somebody, whether things aren't going your way, whether you're disappointed, whether you're unenthusiastic. It shows. Read on.
Come. And a merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance. Verse 26. A cheerful countenance is a token of a heart that is in prosperity.
It says a merry heart maketh a what?
A merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance.
Then why is everybody that's pursuing a relationship with the Most High not full of excitement when you see him? Full of happiness and joy when you see him?
Because a lot of us are still hanging on to our own desires and our own goals that we had preset before we met the Most High, and we don't know how to put some of those away. Some of those are spiritual goals that you can maybe hang on to, but a lot of that you got to throw away, and they're sort of heartbroken or disappointed because they find out that there's some things that they got to put aside and let go of that can't be priority anymore.
Yep. Read on. Finish that.
Cut. Verse 26. A cheerful countenance is a token of a heart that is in prosperity.
It says a cheerful heart is a token of what?
Is a token of a heart that is in prosperity.
Read on.
And the finding
Stop right
out.
there. Now, get this for me real quick. I want you to read this right here.
Okay. A closet alcoholic.
Just write this down. It says what?
A closet alcoholic.
Why is he saying a closet? Why not just alcoholic?
Because he's drinking it hard.
Because, they're
Alienated.
doing it in secret. They don't
Drinking
want,
at home alone.
they don't want everybody to know how much.
He's drinking vodka.
They don't
Why it gotta be vodka though?
They don't want to be,
Can't be bourbon or some brandy or some.
they don't want to be criticized.
Because some Cavassier, because they had no odor, right? It's odorless and it's colorless.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
don't
read
want
that.
criticism or the shame to be judged.
Right. So read it again.
A closet alcoholic is someone who hides their alcohol addiction.
It says it's somebody who does what?
Who hides their alcohol addiction.
So I have an addiction that I'm hiding, but people don't know it around me, but obviously something's not authentic about me. Something's not authentic about me because I don't want it to be known how I really think and what I really do and how I really feel. See, the same way, let me just finish reading that. Go ahead, Dawiat.
More times than not,
Read it again one more time. Salaki.
a closet alcoholic is someone who hides their alcohol addiction from others. More times than not, they literally hide their alcohol.
It says they're called a closet alcoholic because they're hiding what they do from other people, but they also actually hide it in the house.
And another good example of that, there's a guy that he would put a small cup of alcohol as if he's washing the dishes. And he would have a little cup. He would just be watering the cup. And he like washing dishes. But that was his supply.
That was his go-to.
That was his go-to.
So it was hitting. It was hitting in plain sight.
Like you're seeing this a cup of water in the dishes. He would have it strategically placed with the dishes.
Yeah.
So you couldn't really see, but you could see.
Exactly.
If you taste it, it's alcohol. But if you look at it,
It's
water.
clear.
Exactly.
So, or it's just a plain bottle of water like this. It looked like Ozarka.
Yeah.
So why would I put alcohol in a water bottle?
It's camouflage.
It's camouflage. Because I don't want people to know what's really going on. Yes, sir.
That's crazy because that's not a symbolic scripture. That's an actual fact, authentic scripture. I have seen alcoholics in the closet passed out many times. So that's literally talking about, because you would think it's symbolic to a closet alcoholic is just in the house, physically in the closet passed out. I've seen it. I've seen it in Louisiana many times.
But you know what's happening is I'm disguising how I really feel and what I'm really doing. And I don't really want nobody to know what I'm doing. But we just read right now in 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 24. Read that one more time. 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 24. Why do I got the Ozarka spring water smelling like Belvedere?
1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 24. Some men's sins are open beforehand.
Because some people do their sins where?
In the open.
In the open. But not everybody do their sins in the open. There's a lot of people that do sins where?
Are open beforehand.
Go ahead.
Going before to judgment.
Go ahead.
And some men, they follow after.
Some men still do the same things that's going to get judgment. But you just can't see it. They're still on the same path as somebody that does it out in the open. Even though they do it in disguise. They're on the same path, but it's just not so evident. We don't doubt that?
It says, in different places so people do not know they're drinking.
It says so people don't know that they're drinking. So whether I do my sin out in the open or whether I do it hidden, you still gonna get the same judgment. You still gonna get the same judgment. Whether I declare, hey man, this is my issue. Because I don't want to look like I got the problem that they got. I can see your problems. But you can't see my problems. And as long as you don't see my problems, I'm okay. But I can see your problems. Your problems are blaring. They're on a billboard. They're obvious. I see all your flaws. And people like to call that out, but you can't see my flaws because my flaws on a sneak. I still get the same judgment that the guy that's the outdoor alcoholic is going to get. Even though I do mine in secret. That don't make you exempt because you do it in secret. That you think that the Most High is not going to give you the same judgment because you choose to hide what you do in front of other people, but you're just as guilty as the people that do it out in the open. Just as guilty. This is what we're dealing with.
They may appear.
It said they what?
They may appear.
It said they may appear what?
In control.
They're the people that want to look like they got life under control. They're the ones that want to appear that I got this handled. I can handle my situation. I can function. I go to work, don't I? I take care of my kids, don't I? I pay my bills, don't I? There's food on the table, don't I? There's food on the table, right? I pay these bills, right? The lights are on. The water's on. So in my mind, hey, I don't have that problem. My problem isn't that bad. I don't got the problems that you got. Your problems are worse than mine because your sins are out in the open. But this person got the same problems. They got the same issues. They got the same circumstances. They got the same judgment from the Most High coming to them. But they just choose to not say nothing at all. They just choose to sit back and be quiet about what they do. Read on.
They may appear in control.
It said they may appear in control. Life is good. Hey, that's a strong brother. Hey, that's a strong sister. That's a good brother. That's a good sister. Hey, this person making all these changes. That sister got the headscarf on. That brother got the fringes on. That brother work hard. That sister do a good job taking care of the household. But inside, that's not what's really going on. Inside, that's not really the truth. Inside, there's some sin going on. Read.
Of their drinking in public, but struggle privately.
It said, but they struggle where?
Privately.
So these people suffer. These people, just like alcohol, can be held in secret, and they still struggle with it. It's no different than any other sin that people struggle with. You're either going to struggle with it in silence, and you'll struggle with it in solitude. Read that again.
It says, they may appear in control of their drinking in public, but struggle privately.
So privately, you still, in secret, you still got problems. You just don't want to tell nobody because you don't want to look bad. You don't want to bring your issues to the forefront. Just like there's closet alcoholics, there's closet sinners too. That's why we're not only beaming in on alcoholics. That's just one level of sin. But there's many sins that we partake in, or in many issues that we suffer from, that we don't want to let nobody in. We don't want to tell anybody, hey, I'm really not doing well. I'm really not doing okay. I need some assistance. I need some help. But on the outside, on the exterior, I got everything under control. There's no chinks in my armor. I'm sustaining everything. I'm juggling all my responsibilities. I'm upholding everything. But I just want to make it look good. And just because you can make it look good, you can make sin look good. That doesn't mean you're doing okay.
Oh.
That doesn't mean everything's A-okay in life. And everything's going smooth in life. Finish reading that.
It says, but struggle privately. It's like putting on a front.
It's like what?
Putting on a front.
It's like people, even with alcohol, they put on a what?
Front.
They put on a front. Even with any other sin, they put on a what? They put on a front. What's going on the outside is not really what's the truth on the inside. And a lot of us, if we really want to tackle our issues, we got to stop putting on fronts as if everything's okay. Stop trying to look strong like you got everything under control in life, knowing deep down inside you're struggling.
Concealing the real issue.
It says doing what?
Concealing the real issue.
It says concealing the real issue. Go ahead.
If you think you or someone you know is a closet alcoholic, it's vital to seek help.
It's vital to what?
It's vital to seek help and support for a healthier, happier life.
So it says it's vital that you seek support for a happier, healthier life. You're supposed to be happy when you're making changes for the Most High. The reason why a lot of us aren't happy is because we got some internal things that we're struggling with that we don't want people to know. There's some issues that we got that we're trying to handle by ourselves in secret and in silence. And we don't want to let nobody in. But is that the right way to deal with your issues? Is that the right way to deal with the things that got you vexed? Is that the right way to deal with the things that you struggle with? No. The ways that go ahead.
It's not curative. It's not. We sometimes mistake the concealing with the cure. We think we're cured as long as other people can't see that we're sick. So it's like coughing in a room and you just hold the cough in. I'm good. Are you really good? You're not good. You still got the same issues, mucus and bacteria, and the same. You want to cough out, but you're trying to. I'm good, bro. I'm just tired. I'm just really tired. Your eyes are red, bro. Your eyes are red, and you're falling asleep in public. No, I'm just really. No, you're sick. I'm not sick. A lot of times we want to lie to ourselves, and then we lie to people around us. I'm not sick. I'm well. And so therefore, I have to start concealing because I want to keep that lie. I'm telling myself I want to make it real. Yes, sir.
It's also called asymptomatic. Some sicknesses don't present any apparent symptoms outwardly, but you're still internally sick. Your body is still decaying, but it's an internal thing. It's an internal.
Whether we project it or not. And I think the angle you might have been going was the lack of honesty keeps us sick.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the angle. The angle is, yes, sir.
And it almost always seems like it's the thing to do, like it's the right thing to do for you.
It's to hold it in.
And, yeah, and I guess that comes in practice because I've been there definitely.
Yeah, because it's not comfortable exposing yourself about what you're not good at and what you're struggling with.
Right.
You have to struggle with the idea that I look weak.
Right.
And a lot of us don't want to look weak. We have a problem with looking weak. Or I don't like feeling vulnerable. We struggle with this, and so we hold things in, and we try to operate and hold things up in life, but things are actually crumbling on the inside. So there's a way to actually go about it. We just go about it the wrong way. Go to Job chapter 23. Start at verse 1.
Job chapter 23 and verse 1. Go ahead.
Everybody got it? All right, let's get it. Job chapter 23, verse 1. Let's read that.
Job chapter 23, verse 1. Then Job answered and said, even today is my complaint bitter.
What is Job saying? He said, man, today I'm catching hell. He said, even today my complaint is what?
Bitter.
I don't like the way things are going. The condition that I'm in right now is kicking my butt. I'm really not doing well today. Today sucks. He's saying it in an ancient form. Not how we would say it today. We would say today sucks, whatever, but but Job is just saying what?
Even today is my complaint bitter. My stroke is heavier than my groaning.
He said, listen, the hell I'm catching right now is stronger than I can even convey. Wow. Life is hard right now. A lot of us don't even want to come clean with the fact that we want to hold up and be these closet alcoholics. We want to put on a front like everything's okay. I got it all under control. Never admitting that, you know what, life is kicking your butt. Life does kick your butt sometimes. But can you admit it? Can you say it? Can you come clean? Can you acknowledge it that you're not doing right? Or you're not doing well? Read on.
My stroke is heavier than my groaning. Oh, that I knew where I might find him.
He said, man, I wish I could find the Most High. I need some help. Read on.
That I might come even to his seat.
He said, if I knew where the Most High was, I would come straight to his throne. Because I'm losing in this battle. I would come to the Most High's throne if I knew where he was at. Because that's how bad my condition is right now. Read on.
I would order my cause before him.
It said, I would bring my issues to the Most High. But we want to be closet alcoholics. That's not how you fix your problems. Job is given the formula to how you go about how to deal with your issues. He said, I'll bring my cause to the Most High. Are you able to bring your issues to the forefront, or you want to remain in life this closet alcoholic, hiding behind liquor and water bottles and sneaking drinks in here and putting bottles under the bed, and you got bottles in the car where the spare tire is. You make little runs. You know all them damn little airplane bottles?
Yeah.
Them little damn 1 ounce airplane bottles. That damn Fireball whiskey.
Yeah, the Fireball.
You got Fireball plastic bottles all in the trash can. Little one-shot shooters. Straight to the head.
It's not just for
they taste all over the place.
They just for taste time.
They rolling under the car, under the seat. You got all the evidence around you, like everything's all right. But you never want to come out in the open and admit your faults. That's why the Most High had to have that woman drink that damn concoction with the holy water and the dirt, and she don't want to say nothing. Because we have trouble not speaking the truth about what the reality of our situation is. Read.
Verse 4. I will order my cause before him and fill my mouth with argument.
He said, I got a lot that I would like to bring out. And it sounds like he would cuss the Most High out. That's not what he's saying. He said, I got a lot of baggage that I need to unload. Each and every one of us got a whole bunch of baggage that need to be unloaded. But we don't want to say nothing. We want to look strong, appear like everything's okay. I can, shalom, I got everything under control. No, you don't. Sometimes life does kick your butt. But you got to know how to go about it, coming clean with it. Read on. I got you. Hold on 1 second.
Verse 5. I would know the words which he would answer me.
Go ahead.
And understand what he would say unto me.
He said, I would like to bring my situation to the Most High because I want to know how he would want me to handle this situation. I would like to get his input on my situation that's kicking my butt. Do we do that?
No.
Or do we remain closet alcoholics? Looking strong, but on the inside you crumbling. Operating in a fake front like everything's A-okay, but inside life stinks. Your circumstance stinks. Job is telling us the way to approach these conditions. When you got bad days, months, weeks, years. You want to bring the Most High into the situation and get his input and his perspective on what does he feel like you need to be doing? What should you be doing in your life to change your condition or your sickness? Read on.
I would know the words which he would answer me, and understand what he would say unto me. Will he plead against me with his great power?
Is the Most High going to smash me if I bring my cause before him? Is he merciless? Is he cruel? Job's asking that question. Is the Most High cruel? Well, he gonna smash me if I come to him with my issues? Read on.
No.
He said what?
No.
No, the Most High is not cruel. If your life sucks and you're having issues in your life, you need to bring it to the Most High and get his input and his perspective on your condition, and stop trying to hide everything. Looking strong when you're really not strong. Because you're afraid to look weak. Read on.
No. But he would put strength in me.
Because the Most High would do what?
But he would put strength in me.
This is why Job said he would go to the Most High. He said the Most High will take away or give me understanding of my condition and build me back up and give me strength in my condition. He said he'll put strength in me if I can come clean. Read on.
Verse 7. There the righteous might dispute with him.
He said that's the place, the seat of the Most High is where you go to unload all your problems. And where you conversate with the Father about the fact that your life is not doing well. Read on.
There the righteous might dispute with him. So should I be delivered forever from my judge.
And he said, then I'll be delivered forever from my judge. He said, I don't have to worry about these problems if I bring my problems to the Most High. A lot of times, though, we don't have enough humility to actually acknowledge what we're weak at and what we're not good at and the fact that life is not doing so great. Sometimes we're not humble enough to acknowledge that. But Job has the answer. Job has the remedy. What we do is waste time looking strong. Read on. Jump down to verse 10.
Verse 10. But he knoweth the way that I take.
He say, the Most High know what I'm going through. Why don't you bring your problems to the Most High? Job said, the Most High know exactly what I'm going through. Read on.
But he knoweth the way that I take, when he hath tried me.
And if I can understand the Most High, it's all a test. The fact that my life is piss poor or stinks is the fact that the Most High is testing me. It's a test. Read on.
When he hath tried me, I shall come forth as gold.
It said, but I will pass the test. I'm gonna come forth shining like gold. You can't pass the test that life throws at you if you're a closet alcoholic. You'll never pass the test that life throws at you when you don't want to bring nobody in on your issues. When you never want to convey what's really bothering you. You never pass the test. When you want to keep secrets about your circumstances, when you got real situations, you got real problems. Give me read this right here. But that's how people operate. Gotta go here. So I'm just using alcohol. Read this. Oh yeah, that's right. That was actually your voice is jacked up. So like, I'm used to you being healthy.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Read.
Alcoholism is one of the most common chronic diseases.
It said what is?
Alcoholism.
While we're on the subject of being a closet alcoholic, it said alcoholism is one of the most what?
The most common.
It says it's what people actually suffer from the most. It's one of the most common chronic diseases. Showing you that all these sins that we go through or we have, they're not foreign, they're common. A lot of people suffer from what we suffer from. We're not the only ones suffering. We're not the only ones going through something. He said alcoholism is one of the most common what?
Chronic diseases.
It's chronic, I mean it's persistent. Go ahead.
In the United States, While its staggering financial cost in terms of medical care, lost work days,
medical care because of your alcoholism, the sicknesses that come from it, lost, not showing up at work, can't go to work because you're hungover. What else?
and automobile accidents.
And all the accidents. Your car look like a one of them damn desert buggies.
Yeah,
They be racing through the desert, man.
yeah.
The Mad Max vehicles, man. Car be tore up. Because you don't remember what happened. You don't know what you hit. You just got another ding, another dent, another blemish. Automobile accidents, what else?
Can be estimated. Its toll in human history, misery, is incalculable.
He said when you add it all up, he said it's hard to calculate the damage that alcohol has brought forth. He said it's incalculable. You can't calculate the amount of damage that alcohol has done to people's lives. But we want to hold it in like it's not there. We want to put on the front like I don't have a problem. Read on.
Traditional therapy for alcoholism generally follows a multi-stage pattern. The first stage is detoxification.
The first stage is what?
Detoxification.
You got to detox. Stage 1 is you got to get this stuff out your system. Whatever sin that you're dealing with, it needs to be cut off. You need to root it out. That's the first thing to do is detox your sins. Sin and sickness go together. Read on.
When an alcoholic goes cold turkey for a week, sometimes with the help of tranquilizers.
They said, you know what? Sometimes they got to get tranquilizers because those damn the tremors and the sickness that comes from it is hard to bear. Especially when you casting out demons. They don't want to leave. Yep. Read.
The next step includes encounter sessions and lectures.
You said you got to get encounter sessions and what?
And lectures.
You got to get lectures. Somebody got to continue to talk to you about your issues. There's some intervention. You got to keep getting lectured to and getting a new mentality and a new perspective put into you. A new way of coping. A new way of dealing with it. A more honest approach. Read on.
In the hospital, the third step, when the patient goes home, calls for regular attendance.
It says they call for what?
Regular attendance at Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. The treatment customary goal is to heal the alcoholic's psyche.
It says they got to heal the what?
The alcoholic's psyche.
So although it's a spirit, it's a liquid. What has it gotten into? It's gotten into the mind. It's damaged the way you think. It's damaged the way you look at life. It's damaged the way you look at people. There's a lot about you that it's taking a toll on your mental state, your emotional state. Read on.
It's hope that he'll discover the emotional and psychological roots.
The hope of the sessions is to discover the what?
Emotional and psychological.
Is to discover the emotional and psychological roots of what?
Of his addiction.
So everybody got different sins. But have you sat down enough and come clean with your particular sin to get down to the root of it? Have you done enough counseling sessions to sit back and say, okay, I got to get down to, let me start thinking and remembering how I got to the point where I become this closet drunk. I say closet drunk because everybody's not a closet drunk, but everybody's a sinner. And everybody don't like disclosing their sins. But have I gotten to the point of saying, you know what, let me get enough counseling so I can go ahead and start getting at the root of my issues. I got to at least get to the source of the core of my problems. Read on.
And talk them out.
And do what?
Talk them out.
What must you do to heal?
Talk them out.
You have to talk out your problems. That's why Job said, listen, I'm having a bad day. But I need to go to the Most High, and I need to unload all the things that I'm suffering from. I need to get this off my chest. I gotta talk it out. You can't sit there in life holding in what bothers you and what keeps you from being happy and keep you from having joy, and you're just sitting back being quiet, looking strong, but you're really not. You're just sitting back suffering in silence and in secret. But you're looking strong though. You go to work though, but you're not happy in life. The only way that you're going to fix that, you got to talk it out. What did David say? Go to Psalms 51 verse 3. Psalms chapter 51 verse 3.
Psalms chapter 51 and verse 3 says, "For I acknowledge my transgressions."
What did David say?
For I acknowledge
Strong point.
my transgressions.
What did David say?
For I acknowledge my transgressions.
Now, we just read that in order for somebody to heal from their issues, they got to talk it out. David said, listen, I got a better approach. Won't I just acknowledge my what?
Transgressions.
What does that mean? Anybody?
Take notice of.
Take notice of?
Bring it out.
Admit that you have a problem.
Things I do wrong, I let it be known. Things that I do wrong.
Things that I do wrong, I'm not good at, or why I'm miserable. Or what's causing me misery. What you got?
To be completely honest with yourself.
Be honest with yourself. What you got?
Let go of your pride.
Let go of your pride. Stop hiding. Stop suffering in complete silence. By yourself. As if that's going to fix it. That's not going to fix you. David said, listen, we read what Job said. David said, listen, this is what I do. David said, this is what I do to solve my problems. This is how I deal with my issues. He said, I do what?
For I acknowledge my transgressions.
He said, listen, I don't hold on to my negative. I don't hold on to it. You got to frequently, as much as possible, unleash and remove and unload your issues. You can't be sitting back holding on to negative. It never works. It never works. It'll just be a fake appearance of I'm doing good.
So you're basically saying that by holding on to negative, or holding on to transgression, you actually are holding on to the pain, or you're holding on to the stuff.
The sickness or the cause of the sickness?
Exactly. But you're holding on to your sickness.
Yes.
By holding on to your sins.
Yes.
The sins remain. Because there's a direct correlation between sins and sickness.
Mm-hmm. And by speaking of it, you're letting it out.
You're letting it out
of your system.
You gotta let it out.
By not speaking, it'll stay in there, and it'll make you sick. That's right.
It'll continue to become sick. You'll get worse.
You'll get worse. It'll make you more sick.
Yes, sir.
I'll precept on that point out.
What you got?
Psalms chapter 32 verse 3.
Yep.
Come. Psalms chapter 32 and verse 3. When I kept silence, my bones waxed old through my roaring all the day long.
He said, when I kept what?
It says, Psalms chapter 32, verse 3. When I kept silence, my bones waxed old.
He said, what is holding on to pain, loss, suffering, grief, sorrow, mistakes? What does it do to you?
My bones wax old.
It makes you old before time. Mm-hmm. It speeds up the aging process. That's what sin does.
And that also goes to up to date, with when there's issues in the camp. Also, when brothers don't talk about what's going on, or if bitterness starts to come up, or if something they see, brothers will hold it in, not say anything, and eventually it leads them out the truth. There's always a day that they're going to blow up because they're not doing this class is meant for everybody here because we've all had issues. You see things that you don't like. There's red flags sticking up. And you be like, well, I don't want to say them because I don't want to lose my rank. Or it gets into a man-pleasing thing.
Right.
So actually, that goes for everybody in here because that scripture is dope. You kept silence, and Job said, "Your bones." You actually get grudges toward brothers when you don't come out manly and say, "Hey, man, listen, this is this." Or if you're gonna be shot down, but the scripture says to bring it to the Most High, and how do you bring it to the Most High? Through the elders.
You got to
But
talk.
a lot of times,
But you got to talk it out. Yeah, we want to hold it in, and it turns cancerous.
Serious cancer.
He said, "Read it again."
Huh. Psalm chapter 32 and verse 3. When I kept silence, my bones waxed old through my roaring all the day long.
Ecclesiastes chapter 25 verse 2. Ecclesiastes chapter 25 verse 2. In the red book, Apocrypha.
Ecclesiastes chapter 25 and verse 2. 3 sorts of men my soul hated.
The Most High said 3 sorts of, Solomon said it, but he coming from the Most High. He said 3 sorts of men does my soul hate. Read.
And I am greatly offended at their life.
He said, I'm greatly offended at their life. Read.
A poor man that is proud.
He said, I'm offended at a person's life who's poor and they have no reason to be poor. I mean, they're poor man is proud. They got pride, but yet they can't even feed themselves and take care of themselves. But
you can't be told anything. You can't be healed. You can't be helped.
But you got pride.
You're sitting in this low condition in life, and everybody else's counsel and advice to you is automatically
rejected.
Blocked. But your way is not working.
You're the one in need, but you reject the counsel because you think you know better. But you're the one in need.
And you haven't solved the problem all these years.
You haven't fixed it.
You had more than enough time to solve it.
You're in this condition, but you won't receive help.
Come on.
He said his soul hate that person. What else?
Says a poor man that is proud, a rich man that is a liar.
It said a rich man as a liar. You're a rich man. You have no reason to lie. It's not like you have to lie for advantage because you have a need that you're trying to fill. You have no reason to lie. That means that you prefer lying. And what else?
And an old adulterer that doted.
And an old adulterer that what?
That doted.
Doted means to decay in or to be in a state for a long time. You know what the Most High said he hate? He hates somebody that is sick. And they would rather rot in their sickness than change. Yeah, you would rather grow old in your sin. Well, you don't have to grow old in your sin. All you got to do is speak about your sin. Therefore, you don't decay and wax old in your sin. He said, the Most High said he hate a soul that just will decay and grow old in a sin. Yes, sir.
Psalm 42:11.
What you got?
Psalms chapter 42 and 11. Why art thou cast down, O my soul? And why art thou disquieted within me? Hope thou in the Most High, for I shall yet praise him, who is the health of my countenance and my power.
So he said, why am I so sad, man? Why have I not called on the Most High yet? He's my help. He's my strength. Why have I not reached out to the Most High yet? Why have I not spoken about what bothers me? David said, I acknowledge my sin. And my sin is ever before me. David said, I have no problem speaking about the mistakes that I make because I don't want to hold on to none of this. David had a no-nonsense policy of holding on to negative. He did not want to hold on to negative at all. Let's get this out in the open, fast as possible. I don't want no part of holding on to negative. That's why he said, man, I acknowledge my sin. David was quick to unload that sin. I got to get this off me. John chapter 9, verse 1. John chapter 5, verse 1.
John chapter 5, verse 1.
Read that.
John chapter 5, verse 1. After this, there was a feasting of the Jews, and Yahushua went up to Jerusalem. Now there is at Jerusalem by the sheep market a pool, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of impotent folk.
That's where all the sick people were. Impotent just means without strength. It says a whole lot of sick people was at this pool. Read.
Of blind, halt, withered, waiting for the moving of the water.
Blind, handicapped, paralyzed, missing limbs. He said they was all waiting on the moving of the water. Read on.
Verse 4. For an angel went down at a certain season into the pool and troubled the water. Whosoever then, first after the troubling of the water, stepped in, was made whole of whatsoever disease he had.
So this pool healed you of whatever disease you had, but it was first come, first serve. You had to get in there quick. As soon as you saw that angel move that water, you had to jump in there. And immediately you'd be healed from your sickness. Read on.
Verse 5. And a certain man was there which had an infirmity 38 years.
This man had an infirmity for how long?
38 years.
This man had a sickness for 38 years. He had been at the pool for 38 years. That means he had 38 tries to get in that water. He said he'd been there for 38 years. Read on.
When Yahushua saw him lie and knew that he had been now a long time in that case.
It says he knew that he had been at that time a long time in that case. Christ saw that this man had been by that pool for a very long time and remained still sick. What did Christ say?
He saith unto him, Wilt thou be made whole?
No. He said, be made whole, my brother.
Wilt thou be made whole?
Here's some healing that I break bread to you, brother. Eat the healing of salvation, brother.
Wilt thou be made whole?
Your problems are forgotten. No fear, your Savior's here.
Wilt thou be made whole?
No, what he said was what?
Wilt thou be made whole?
Why did Christ ask him a question? Will you be made whole? Why didn't he just heal him?
Because it takes belief.
Say it again.
It takes his faith.
It takes his faith.
How bad do you want it?
How bad do you want it?
It takes belief on the part of that person and not just,
Belief in what way? Or faith in what way?
The belief that you can be made whole, the belief in the power of the Most High.
I'll say this. The belief is backed up by what?
Faith.
No,
By your work.
by actions.
What you're willing to do, how far you
Yes, your actions will dictate whether you to determine whether you want to be healed or not. That's why it wasn't that he couldn't have healed him. Of course, Christ could have healed the man, but why would he pose the question, "Will thou be healed?" Are you willing to do what it takes to be healed? That's the question we got to ask ourselves. Are you willing to speak on and talk out your issues and swallow your pride so that you don't grow old in your sin? Are you willing to do what it takes to fix you? Or you just want to be there sick for 39 years? Or even 40 years? Are you willing to do what it takes to actually fix you? Christ easily could have fixed that man. But you know what he wanted to see? Man, he needs your participation. You got to you got to want this as bad as I want it for you. Or you could just sit there and complain. Read on.
God, verse 7. The impotent man answered him, Sir, I have no man.
I don't got no help. What does that sound like?
An excuse.
That's an excuse. Either you're going to sit there and be sick for another year and make excuses while you're still sick, or you're going to put the actions forth that's necessary for change and growth, which it requires you to be honest about your mistakes. That healing comes with honesty, saying, listen, this is my faults. These are my issues. These are my hang-ups. These are my shortcomings. These are my handicaps. These are my setbacks. I need some help getting this out of me and fixing me. I'm bringing somebody in on my struggles, the things I'm not so good at, that's keeping me negative or vexed. It requires some actions. But the healing is always there. Well, what are you willing to do to fix yourself? Yes, sir.
Basically, Christ was asking him, what are you willing to sacrifice in order for you to obtain what you've been looking for?
Do you want it? Do you want to be healed? That's why he asked him, wilt thou be made whole?
Yeah.
You can be healed if you want to be. If you hold on to your pride, though, you won't be. If you want to be a closet alcoholic, you'll never be healed. You want to look strong and appear strong in front of people while you suffer on the inside, then you'll never get healed.
He's saying, you know you're sick.
Yeah.
He's telling you, you know you're sick. That's why that is asking the question. You know you're sick.
That's why Solomon said, I hate. The third thing he said he hated is a man that doted, an old adulterer that doted. Meaning somebody that decides to wax old in their negative and don't have no desire to change. Get the definition of the word inveterate. Get the definition of the word inveterate. I-N-V-E-T-E-R-A-T-E. Inveterate.
Inveterate. 1828, Webster's Dictionary.
Because what the man that we're reading about in John chapter 5, this man is inveterate. Read this.
God, it says deep rooted.
It said this man's sickness is what?
Deep rooted.
This man's sin is what?
Deep rooted.
This man's illness is what?
Deep rooted.
This man's sins is what?
Deep rooted.
And it is deep rooted.
God.
That's why he was in that condition for 38 years. His sin was deeply rooted in him. Some of our sins is deeply rooted.
So that means you've grown accustomed to it.
You've grown familiar and comfortable with your sin. You're okay with your negative.
Right.
And that's when the Most High said he hates you. Is an old adulterer that doted. Somebody that grows old and wax old in their negative with no desire to change. Yeah, like an old beggar. He said, I hate this spirit.
Like, this is who I am.
Yeah, but it's a part of me now.
Right.
My sin is a part of me. It's a part of my character. No, it's not. He said it's deeply rooted. Go ahead.
God. Firmly established.
This sin in me is firmly established. Read.
By long continuance.
And I'll be in this condition by what? Long continuance. It's not going anywhere. No time soon. Me and my sin is tight. We're hanging in there. I don't want to let it go. Yes, sir.
It says,
hold on. The brother wants to say something.
At work, it's this guy, and his leg. Oh, actually, we were talking about eating pork, and he was saying, "Oh, I eat anything. It don't make no difference. Squirrel, possum. It don't make no difference. I eat it. It don't make no difference. I've eaten everything you can possibly think of. Snake, everything." And so his leg is like this, all the
Swollen.
way down. And I told him, I said, "Man, you're not supposed to eat that stuff, man."
Epidemia. He got swelling and fluid in the legs. Oh, gout. That's an excessive amount of uric acid in the blood.
Yes. And I told him, I said, "Man, you got gout, bro." He said, "I ain't got no gout." I said, "No, you got your blood is poisoned. You have gout." "I ain't got no poison blood. The doctor never told me that." I said, "That because he don't want you to know. But you got gout, bro. I didn't see it too many times. I know what it is." And he went to the doctor, and he asked him about the gout, and the doctor said, "You have gout."
How'd you know? Thanks for nothing. Everybody else spit that.
How much you spent for that doctor visit?
And I don't know, man, but his leg busted open.
Oh my God!
Busted open and all all that fluid came out.
Will thou be healed? Will thou be made whole?
Hey, he was out of work for like 2 weeks.
Will your flesh burst open?
Busted open. Gout had to get out.
I'm here. That's amazing.
Yeah, bro. And you could have saved him some money. But you know what it took? It took it having the bust open until he treated it.
Wow.
He would have never treated it.
Right.
It took him having to suffer to that degree for it to come out and to accept that he had sickness.
So is that why sometimes it results in like extreme bouts of behavior? Because sometimes is it like us imploding?
It's a defiance.
Right.
It's a defiance, and it's a rejection of the fact that we got an illness. That's what makes a closet alcoholic. I don't want somebody to determine and see and make it known that I got a problem. I don't want it. I don't want it to be seen that I got a problem. I want to look like everything's okay. I'm gonna continue on, but even though it's obvious that there's a sickness. There's a sister online that says it's a rich man disease. That's what gout is.
It is.
The rich man disease, because you can eat whatever. But read on. Inveterate.
It says, deep rooted, firmly established.
It says that some sicknesses and some sins are firmly established. Read on.
By long continuance.
And because people sit in this sickness for a long time. Read on.
It says obstinate.
It says obstinate is what? Stubborn.
Stubborn.
Some people are sick because they're what?
Stubborn.
Just like you explained about the man at work with the gout.
Yep.
He's stubborn. He don't want to believe that he has an issue when the issue is obvious.
It's busting out of his legs.
Look like he got 2 legs, 3 legs. Yes, sir.
It says used of evil.
It says used of what?
Evil.
Go ahead.
As an inveterate disease.
It says just like a disease. Inveterate, it can be used in orientation of a disease. It can be described as a long-standing disease. But also, read on.
It says an inveterate abuse.
Go ahead.
An inveterate course of sin.
It's also a disease, or it could be a long-standing what?
Inveterate course of sin.
It could be an inveterate course of what?
Sin.
So it could be a disease that's long-standing, or it could be a sin that's long-standing.
Wow.
And what we found out so far is that sin and disease go together. And both could be long-standing. And a lot of times, if you choose to fix yourself, the disease will go away if you fix the sin.
Wow.
In this man's case, in John, read on in verse 7.
John chapter 5, verse 7. The impotent man answered him, Sir, I have no man, when the water is troubled, to put me into the pool. But while I am coming, another steppeth down before me. Yahushua said unto him.
What was this man saying?
So,
excuses.
Excuses, yeah.
This man's saying is a bunch of excuses. Every time that it came to actually getting the opportunity to be healed, he made excuses. That was that man's issue. I make a bunch of excuses why I can't be fixed, or why being fixed is impossible. I make excuses for the Most High to heal me. I don't want to do what it takes. I don't want to do what it takes to fix my problems. The healing is there. Do you have the humility, the honesty, the sincerity? Do you have the mind of David that said, "Man, I acknowledge my sin. I'm quick to let you know what I do wrong, and my wrongs. I don't need to go through a masseuse or a hypnotist for a deep psych massage to get me to go back and find out what I've been doing wrong. I don't need to go in front of a hypnotist and put me to sleep so I can go into deep thought and deep meditation to find out what the hell I've been doing wrong." He said, I acknowledge my sin, and my sin is ever before me. Meaning, I know where I'm wrong at. It's automatic. This is my issue. I don't have to waste somebody's time in a therapy session to say what I'm wrong at? I know what I'm wrong at. I know what I've been doing wrong. Read.
Verse 8. Yahushua said unto him, Rise, take up thy bed and walk.
He said, rise, take up your bed and what?
And walk.
Stop making excuses. Walk means to what? Put forth some action. Because that's what he didn't do, and that's what he wouldn't do, is put the actions necessary to be healed, but make excuses why he can't put the action forward. Too many times, we got a bunch of excuses holding us back that's interfering with our ability to be healed from a long-standing sickness, but in actuality, it's really a long-standing sin. Because they go together. Read this right here. Finish reading this. Those methods. Just read it down to here.
Okay. Those methods have saved many alcoholics.
Talking about talking out your problems. He said those methods have been going to AA meetings, go to counseling, seeking therapy. He said those methods have saved many alcoholics. Read.
From a miserable life and a premature death.
And a premature death. Talking out your problems. Read.
But as valuable as such techniques may be in individual cases, their overall performance record has been outstanding. But as valuable as such techniques may be in individual cases, their overall performance record has not been outstanding.
So overall, what's wrong with people? Read.
They haven't put a dent in these statistics. An estimated 85%.
It's an estimated 85% of what?
Of all dried out alcoholics.
Somebody that's completely dried out. They don't drink anymore. He said 85% of completely dried out alcoholics do what?
Eventually go back to drinking.
He says they eventually go back to drinking. Why would these alcoholics go back to drinking?
Yes, sir. They accept it as their identity. They identify with the sin.
They miss it.
They miss it.
Dry drunks, they behave the same way. So when they do drink, they can function, and without that vice, they don't feel stabilized. So it's because of that long continuance like that.
So they've grown unfamiliar with being sober.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
They know they're not even familiar with sobriety and what a sober life looks like and feel like. It's like somebody's been institutionalized in prison.
Right.
They're afraid of freedom.
First thing, like, might as well go back to AA. You're in denial.
Yeah.
You're in denial that you really have a sickness.
Yeah.
Alcoholic Anonymous, NA, and it's a whole list of things. I can go on Christmas list. It's just a lot of things that bring you back to drugs and alcohol.
Regret, because being sober just allows them more opportunity to think about the mistakes.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Being sober, but being controlled by something else. In other words, you're staying away from the alcohol, but you're getting sick from the food that you're eating, or eating too much food, or eating too much of the wrong food, and that makes you sick. And then when you get sick, then you'll go back to drinking because you're feeling so sick anyway.
Yep.
I make a big point.
Yep.
And also too, a lot of us will attack the symptomatic issue, the symptom or the expression of the problem, not the root of the problem. You know, drinking is a form of escape. It's escapism. All right, so as a method of escape, it's a method of okay. It's a method of escape. Yes, ma'am. You have your hand up? Okay. I thought you were stretching it. I see hands, you know. Okay. I'm gonna finish my point real quick. But just sometimes the alcohol is a numbing agent from another root problem, and so stop the drinking, which was one of the issues, but there was another layer that wasn't addressed. And so the person gets reinfected with that problem. That's also an issue. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I was just going to answer him. He said, alcoholics that are drinking, because they start talking about the problem. It's not like just a one-time counsel or one-time alcoholics anonymous meeting go to,
It's a lifestyle change. In order to not go back. But like what the brother said, I want to bring this out too. Read this right here.
They maintain that the alcoholic who undergoes a radical nutritional overhaul, a switch from sugar.
They said I got to get rid of what?
Sugar.
Sugar. Why do you got to get rid of sugar? Because alcohol is processed in the body as what? As sugar.
It's actually made with sugar.
Yeah. So alcohol is digested and soluble in the body, just no different than sugar is.
Recognize this sugar.
They say that two things go through the stomach blood wall the fastest is sugar and alcohol. Goes it directly to the bloodstream.
That's crazy.
Sugar and alcohol goes straight to the bloodstream without much processing having to be done. So he said, they what?
A switch from sugar, cigarettes,
what else?
And coffee.
Go ahead.
To whole grains, fresh produce, and vitamin supplements.
They said, and vitamin supplements, because they say that alcoholics because alcohol blocks the ability of the body to absorb nutrients and minerals. Often, more times than not, alcoholics are vitamin D deficient and a variety of other vitamins deficient in their body because it blocks their ability to absorb the nutrients from the food. So, like you were bringing out about this particular diet change is necessary. Read this right here.
The B vitamins can also reduce the cravings for alcohol. Dr. Williams believes that alcoholism can cause B vitamin deficiency. Most experts in the field agree. But Dr. Williams reversed the formula and took an unorthodox position. That a deficiency of the B vitamins can cause excessive drinking.
So because I'm deficient in vitamins, it makes me crave alcohol even the more. So alcohol blocks the body's ability to absorb minerals, and because I'm mineral deficient, I want alcohol even more
To
supplement the deficiencies. So now I'm going right because if I didn't change my diet along quitting cold turkey, then my body's natural desire is want to go back to alcohol for the feeling that nutrients is there, even though it's not. So it's a double whammy. I'm being robbed of vitamins, and then because I'm being robbed of vitamins, I crave alcohol more. So you end up going right back to it. Read on.
He may be right. Experiments in Finland in 1977 show that rats made deficient in B vitamins are more likely to choose alcohol than water.
He says a study was done in 1977 where they purposely made rats deficient in vitamins. And it says those rats chose alcohol, liquor, over water.
Wow.
So liquor was more important than water. Because they were what? Deficient in vitamins. So when you make a change, you're making an entire change completely when you're battling certain spirits, certain issues. Your whole lifestyle has to change. Diet, who you talk to, your surroundings, your circumstances. We're not going to read it, but there's another study in there that shows that they have people that go to an unbar. They call it an unbar. It's a bar without alcohol. And they only serve popcorn, peanuts, and snacks. But it's the setting of a bar. They call it an unbar. You get the atmosphere that you're in a tavern or a bar without the alcohol being served. But you get that feeling that you're in the bar. Because a lot of times alcoholics have spent many, many days many hours at the bar.
They got good memories associated with it.
Their feelings, the alcohol is tied to those locations. So they have locations that are called unbars. You get to chill with the homies. You get the atmosphere. You get the signs. You get the pool hall. You get the darts. But ain't no alcohol being served. Just the atmosphere is there.
That's a dry club.
But yeah, and your vitamins are off. You feel like, man, something is missing. I don't know what it is. But go to 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 23.
Con.
I'm good on that.
Okay, I thought we were going back to 1 Timothy.
1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 23. Read that.
Either one, I guess. Go ahead. We were in 1 Timothy 5 earlier. 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 23. Lay hands suddenly on no man.
I'm sorry. Is that 1
That's
Timothy 5?
22, sorry. 23. Drink no longer water. Right?
Yep.
That's one more. 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 23.
Read that.
Drink no longer water.
Now, Paul, this is Paul as advice. He's giving advice to Timothy. He says, drink no longer water. Read.
But use a little wine.
Because Timothy was a water-only guy. He was a real strict dietary. When it concerned his diet, they say that Timothy was pretty frail in his constitution. He had a frail constitution. He wouldn't put a lot of things in his mouth. He was very strict about what he put in his mouth. He was that devoted to the Most High. Paul had to come back and tell him, hey, listen, man, drink a little bit of alcohol. Just a little bit. Because you're going extreme with that water. Like he was just water only. You're going to put a little bit of alcohol, just a little bit in your system. He said drink a little bit of wine. Go ahead.
Drink no longer water, but use a little wine.
For what?
For thy stomach's sake.
So obviously Timothy had some type of stomach issue, some type of digestion issue, and because of it, he only drank water. He said, but when you look at alcohol is fermentation. When you look at kombucha, a lot of people drink kombucha now because of its properties and its good bacteria that grows inside the fermentation process. It creates good bacteria for the stomach. Good balance, good cultures in the stomach. Probiotics. So he said just drink a little wine, just a small amount. Read.
God. Middle of 23. Excuse me, I'll just drink. I'll drink that again. I'll read that again. Drink no longer water.
Wow.
Drink no longer water, but use a little wine for thy stomach's sake.
Read.
And thine often infirmities.
And he said, and you're often what?
And thine often infirmities.
So Timothy was obviously suffering from something. So he advised him, add just a little bit of alcohol to your diet, just a little bit, tiny amount. Go to Ecclesiastes chapter 39, verse 21.
Ecclesiastes chapter 39, verse 21.
Somebody else give me Psalms 104 and 15.
Read it.
Yep.
Ecclesiastes 39 and 21. And man need not to say, what is this? Wherefore is that? For he hath made all things for their uses.
He said everything has a what?
Use.
Everything. The Most High created everything for use. What was wine made for? He said everything was made for use. So what is the use or the purpose of wine? Go to Psalm 104, verse 21. Psalm 104, verse 15.
Psalm chapter 104, verse 15. And wine that maketh glad the heart of man.
It said wine the purpose of wine is to do what?
Maketh glad the heart of man.
It said it makes glad the heart of what?
Man.
The heart of man. Wine was made to make man glad. But you have to drink it a certain way. Go to Ecclesiastes 31 and verse 4.
Ecclesiastes 31 and 4. The poor laboreth in his
Ecclesiastes 31 in the Apocrypha?
Yeah.
Give me verse, Ecclesiastes 30, that's it. The poor laborer in what?
The poor laboreth in his poor estate, and when he leaveth off, he is still needy. He
Let me
that
see.
loveth gold.
No. Give me 37. I'm sorry.
Chapter 37.
No, verse 37.
Yeah.
You're in Ecclesiastes 31, verse 27.
27.
Come on. Ecclesiastes 31 and 27. Wine is as good as life to a man,
Wine is not a bad thing. Read.
if it be drunk moderately.
It says only if you drink it what?
Moderately.
So wine is not made for a bad purpose. The problem is men abuse wine. They distort the purpose of what it's for. No different than a woman distorts the purpose of her womb. No different than a man distorts the purpose of his procreation. It's the abuses of things that causes the issues, not the purpose of what they were made for. It's how we misuse them. He said wine was actually a good thing if it's drunk with moderation. Read on.
Life is as good. Wine is as good as life to a man, if it be drunk moderately. What life is it then to a man that is without wine? For it was made to make man glad.
Read on.
Wine measurably drunk.
He's telling you what the purpose of wine was for. It was made to make you happy, but in small increments, very small increments. The problem is we don't have self-control. We don't have self-restraint. There's a bunch of incontinence about us where we don't know how to control the passions and control the urges that we possess. And so we start indulging in things that weren't made to be indulged in. Read.
Wine measurably drunk and in season.
And there has to be a season for wine. Every month is not a season. Every day is not the season. Wine has a season to be drunk. Read on.
Bringing gladness of the heart and cheerfulness of the mind.
If it's done appropriately. But too many times our people are hereditary drunks. It's been passed down to us by way of our families. It's in our blood. It's a way. It's a lifestyle. It's a culture. Drinking is a part of the culture. The whole family be drinking, buying alcohol for everybody. It's a world party. How we abuse it is the problem. Read on.
Verse 29. But wine drunken with excess maketh bitterness of the mind.
It said, but when you do too much wine, it changes your character. It changes your mental state. It changes your psyche. It changes your emotions. It changes your loyalty. It changes your commitment. It changes your speech. It changes your discipline. It changes everything about you. In one of these books, it say that it even distorts the face. It distorts your whole look. You don't even look like the same person anymore. It has the ability to distort your figure, to disfigure you. You see Lil Wayne with the puffy face?
He looks wild.
Versus skinny Lil Wayne?
Oh, yeah.
His eyeballs are bloodshot red. His face look round and fat. All that lean.
He's still skinny, but you can tell he's inflamed out. My cats that sip syrup too. Back in the day, they had those inflamed faces. The homie that we kicked with, remember we kicked with him? He came to class every once in a while, but he always had that Issachar cat. He said like Cameron from Dipset.
I don't remember. You got me on that one.
He's the homie, man. I forgot his name, but he always had. Whenever we saw him, he always had. Anyways, that constant drinking.
Yeah.
You seen the homie?
Yeah, Gizmo.
Gizmo, yeah, the homie Gizmo,
Yeah.
right?
Oh man, yeah.
His whole. We saw him grow up, but over time he started.
He was coming to class, yeah.
Always drinking and drinking. Then after a while, he had a permanent Wayne face out.
Yeah, it changed his whole physical structure. It changed him completely. Read on.
But wine drunken with excess maketh bitterness of the mind with brawling and quarreling.
And all you want to do is what?
Right.
You want to fight.
Turn on.
So all you want to do is fight. And this is how relationships are destroyed. This is how friendships are destroyed. This is how marriages are destroyed. Because your abuse, your inability to control your passions, it destroys you. Proverbs chapter 23, verse 29. And we're going to end it with this. No, we're not. We'll just read that real quick.
Proverbs chapter 23
Yes.
and verse 29.
Yes, sir.
Proverbs chapter 23, verse 29. Who has woe?
Woe is destruction or problems. It said, who has destruction or problems? Read on.
Who has sorrow?
Who is sad? Read on.
Who has contention?
Who's always fighting and arguing?
Who has babbling?
Who's always talking crazy?
Who has wounds without cause?
Now, wounds without cause. Now, if a soldier goes to war, it's only right if he comes back with some war wounds, because of the environment that he was in is conducive for wounds. The environment that he was in let you know, hey, that's a dangerous situation. It's normal to see a soldier come back with some battle scars. But an alcoholic got scars with no battle. They got wounds with no war. I mean, they got problems without a cause. And they don't know where it's coming from. They can't determine where my issues are coming from. I don't know where my problems keep coming from. They can't see it. Read on.
Who has redness of eyes?
And whose eyes are always bloodshot red. Read on.
Verse 30. They that tarry long at the wine.
Who has these symptoms?
They that tarry long at the wine.
These symptoms are for a person that's tarrying long where? At the wine.
At the wine.
Meaning they're being influenced by something negative. They're under a negative influence. And if you don't control your influences, then you'll be suffering with a variety of symptoms that cannot be hid. You have to be able to attack all your influences and identify what has power over you, and to abstain from it and not let it have any rule over you. How to do things in moderation. Have self-control. Be honest about your situations. Read on.
They that go to seek mixed wine.
Mixed wine is strong wine with a smooth taste. People look for the strongest possible wine that has the smoothest actual taste. That's what he's explaining. You're looking for that wine that's actually cherry flavor, strawberry flavor, but it's like 20% alcohol in a can.
Yeah, some whiskey barrel aged.
It's 15%. It's them little balls, the little green apple balls they sell at the end of the end cap at the corner store. Say it again.
Buzzball.
The buzz ball. Damn, I didn't even know what the hell it was called. It was called a buzz ball. People buying the hell out them buzz balls. It'd be like one left on the stand. When you look at the stand, don't be no buzz balls left.
Yeah, the biggies now.
But when you look at the buzz ball, it's like it's 15% alcohol in this little bitty ball of fake liquor. It's trash. But people want the strongest maximum effect, but with the smoothest taste. That's what he said. He said when they go seek, they looking for what?
They that tarry long at the wine. They that go to seek mixed wine.
They're seeking mixed wine. I want the thing that knocks me off my feet, but I don't taste it. I don't feel it, but it's strong as hell.
Four Loco?
Back in the day, that was MD 2020.
MD 20. Oh,
that's horrible.
some more trash.
That's bad. The blue
So,
one?
and you know what MD stand for, right?
No.
Mogan
David.
Get out of here.
It means it means Mogan David. Mogan is a shield. Magan is a shield. David is like the Star of David, the shield of David. So you know it's owned by some Jewish people. But it's targeted to who? Our people. Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah. Read on.
I thought it was me. I thought it was like Mad Dog.
Everybody say Mad Dog 2020. No, man, that's Mogan David. That's Star David. There wasn't no Star David. I ain't nothing spiritual about that. It was spiritual, all right. Go ahead.
Verse 31.
Put you in the wrong spirit.
Yeah.
Proverbs 23 and 31. Look not thou upon the wine when it is red.
Not looking for the best quality with the strongest taste.
Yeah.
Read on.
When it giveth his color in the cup.
Go ahead.
When it moveth itself aright.
He said because a lot of people like to spin it.
Yeah.
They like to spin it. They like to see how it swirl in the glass. They like to smell it.
Yeah.
They like the whole ambiance that come with the drinking. You know, they like to taste a little bit, sip a little bit. Let's hit some coriander and there's some cumin and I taste some fig and some burnt sugar, brown sugar, caramelized sugar in this. Man, we people like to be connoisseurs of it. Read on.
Verse 32. At the last, it biteth like a serpent.
It said, but at the end of your indulgences, it says you will get what?
Bit.
At the what?
Like a serpent.
No, at the last.
At the last.
Meaning if you don't root out your issues in the end are going to bite you in the butt. You must fix your issues because they will come back and bite you if you don't fix your problems. Yes, sir.
And just like the invisible path of all addiction, it comes from that scripture that says when that alcoholic spirit is kicked out, it's just a matter of time.
Bring friends.
Before it revisits.
Yeah.
Revisits with seven
seven worse than the one.
And out of all the things we talk about, if you look close, it is a spirit that is either kicked out or revisited.
Yeah. And if you don't remove it, you're gonna fail in the end. Right. It's not while you're engaged in it that's the problem because you gonna have issues, but in the end, it's not gonna suit you well. No. And so he's saying that it catches up with you. All your sins catch up with you, but they catch up with you in the end.
Yeah.
Read. Finish that.
God, verse 32. At the last it biteth like a serpent and stingeth like an adder.
And we'll stop it right there. Because so if I don't fix my issues, the Most High be showing me symptoms of all my issues. But if I don't solve my problems, in the end, they're going to all come back and bite me. They're going to all come back and catch up on me. I have to fix my issues. You can't sit in your issues for a long-standing period of time. You're not going to change. You got to seek counsel by speaking out, by talking out your issues, by bringing somebody in on your problems. Don't try to suffer and deal with your problems by yourself. It's not going to help you. Any questions? With that, we're going to say shalom. Shalom, everybody. For watching online. We'll catch up with you on Friday. Got Friday. Darius be back in action on Friday. So shalom. We'll see you soon.